Suma, you examined the fragments of like that sphere that was thrown
Yeah.
into the room. Would you say that Suma would bring that with him, like on his way into the island, or do you think that he would just like leave them behind somewhere?
I would probably leave them with whatever like pack I have on the ship.
Cool.
Unless they were gonna like sell the ship and then it would go away. You know what I mean? Or are you
Um,
selling the small boat?
selling the small boat, I
Oh,
believe,
you're
is
selling the small boat.
Everyone,
Okay,
stop
good.
trying to ditch the others.
No. I was just confused. Okay, yes, I'll leave it on our
cool.
boat
Okay,
with our stuff.
got it. Let's go.
Bless you.
There
Bless you.
you go.
Bless you.
Lessons. That's a D4, right?
Yep.
Which has not been cast yet, actually.
Crazy.
I'm not gonna cast it.
I think we have a
Hey.
battle cleric. I don't
You
think we have
never
a
know.
healer cleric.
She might change her mind. There may come a time where healing will become very necessary.
Pshaw.
Speaking of which, before I think Ruby was going with me. We were gonna go check out Aurelius's house. I would like to take a short rest because I was very hurt in that battle.
Cool. Yeah. I'll say that you guys probably, as you were, doing all the interrogation stuff,
Okay, sounds good.
and like cleaning up on the ship, dragging the bodies out. People could have taken that in shifts, and we could have gotten a long rest in there somewhere.
All right, I'll roll some hit dice then.
Awesome. Did anybody hear the music bot?
No.
I do not.
No, I don't think it's playing.
Got it. Cool.
Ooh, I hear it now.
Cool. Awesome. Alrighty. Thank you everybody for being so patient. We're gonna get back into it now. Last we left off, everybody had brought Aurelius back to the ship after rescuing him from being kidnapped for whatever reason. They got the sense that they were being watched as this was happening. And eventually, after getting back on the ship, learning that their entire crew, minus one very loyal and very dedicated and very sleep-deprived Simon, had gone off into Lagon to do some gallivanting around, hitting up taverns, shops, or whatever it is sailors do on their time off. They found themselves under attack. The two Galenian agents, whom they had rescued Aurelius from, came aboard the ship, presumably having been informed of where he was by the Warforged, who were watching the entire time. A great battle ensued. The Galenians were dispatched pretty quickly off the back of two, like, in a row critical hits. One from Suma and one sneak attack crit from Alok. Put down the fighter really quickly. Did not think he was going to go down that fast, but, the dice will do what the dice will do. Afterwards, Buru dove into the water to rescue Justine, the Galenian cleric who had been a part of that fight and who had been dragged under the water by one of the Warforged. presumably in an attempt to keep, information from leaking. But because Buru saved his life, we were able to bring him back from the brink and interrogate him for a long time, with the help of one armored snail, and Aurelius at the tail end of the battle when there was one warforged left on the ship was seemingly killed. Um, he seemed to no longer be breathing, no longer be part of this mortal coil, and strangely enough, something seemed to have happened, and he stabilized, and he is now resting in Gallet's room, previously Aramis's quarters. Cool. What do we want to do on the ship before we all go out in our teams and head out?
Just a quick question to just throw
Yeah.
out there. Well, to the team, really. So, we have confirmed that basically the people in charge of the Mark Ones of this island do not want Aurelius here. They were willing to work with the guys from the Republic to get him off. Now those guys are gone. Do you think maybe we could just, get some money out of this? Like, we'll just walk up, say, hey, we can take him off the island for a price. Like, work that out? Because, for some reason, they don't want them on this island.
Oh yeah, they just want him off the island, not like specifically.
We can
Right.
just, straight up say, hey, we'll fix this for you, but for a price. Because we're sort of still low on funds.
I like that, but don't we have to tell them that we killed the other Warforged?
No, we do not have to.
How do we explain their disappearance?
When it comes up, we'll think of something, but
Okay, I'd
we don't
like to
have
think of it
say
beforehand.
Okay,
but-
okay, well, the easiest thing to say is self-defense. I was just swimming in the water, as you do, when a hook came and tried to grab my right shoulder.
Speaking of which, why were you swimming? I thought you were going onto the top of the ship.
New plan.
I believe.
Yeah, new
Oh,
plan.
okay.
It was a new plan, yeah. So,
We need to discuss these plans beforehand.
yeah,
then, just
yeah.
so we're all clear.
I was hit with inspiration, and also, if someone could get me my dagger, it's on the side of the boat. I don't know how to get it.
I can get it for you.
Thanks.
Was that part of the plan too?
It was sort of,
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just leave daggers places. I'm forgetful, clumsy. But yes or no on the whole gold plan?
Or we could just deny everything.
We could just deny
be
everything.
Like, oh,
We could just be like,
Who?
oh,
I've never
Who?
met
I've never met
people before.
those people before.
I'm not
But
so
they-
sure.
Oh, go on.
I'm not so sure that the Warforged will be upset that two of their own have been lost. I'm
Yeah,
not sure how much
There you go.
they're connected with each other.
Yeah, it just seems like
You
it'd be
know?
more of an annoyance, actually. I haven't seen
Right.
a Warforged cry. Has anyone seen one cry?
Well, I feel like they may have a connection though. If the ones we killed wanted him gone, and the ones we're going to also want him gone. I feel like maybe they were
Well,
together, but
we can just promise him gone if that
I'm
keeps
proud of
us
the
from
plan.
getting attacked on the island.
It's quite
If you can be
efficient.
convincing, go for it.
Are you all going to discuss this plan with Aurelius as he is kind of like slowly recovering in Aramis's room, or are you just gonna move forward with it?
He's resting. We don't need another opinion. I think we've got this. I don't think he's holding back any crucial information. All we gotta do is find this Mark 1 and get our money.
Well, did we ask him why they want him gone? I don't know if we ever.
The guy wouldn't tell us.
Oh, okay.
Either he doesn't know or he's just not gonna say.
I do have a question about how he was dead and then he came back alive. Anyone know how that happened?
Oh, well, because I fixed his scurvy, remember? It wasn't that long
It did
ago.
happen.
It happened. You're a cleric. You've seen this before.
Right. So I am a cleric, but I have not seen that before.
Ah, okay.
Um
Well, then I guess I'm a miracle worker in a way,
Where'd you do your studying? Huh?
Hmm?
Johns Hopkins
I'm more
or
of a hands-on type of dude. I don't really go to schools.
Oh.
So trial and error.
Schools go to him.
Yeah, exactly. I school people. Now let's get this
Oh.
money. All right. So does
Cool.
anyone know where the Mark One guy is?
Well, let's go do the boat thing first, right?
Boat thing, boat thing.
It's a little more surefire, right?
Yeah. We'll get money with the boat thing, but like, let's just try to get a little bit more on our way out because we can fix the boat, but also we still need money for the crew.
Should we maybe ask them after we get the boat fixed? Because there's a chance that they might want to attack us after that. We might have to run. So
That is true. Okay. So it's either we can ask them beforehand and say we need the money to fix the boat, and at which it's either they'll make the boat free or they'll give us enough money to fix the boat because we won't be lying. Or we first start fixing up the boat and then say we'll offer to take him off the island. And then we sort of have a weird bargaining chip because if we don't do it, maybe they just like snap his neck on the island.
I like the first one.
I already forgot the first. The first one is we go
Me
there
too.
first.
I remembered I liked it. I don't remember.
Okay, we're gonna do. Okay, so before the boat sell, we go find this Mark One guy. We talk to him. We lay down the foundation and get our money. All right, everyone seems exuberant about this plan.
Well, I'm a little confused. The Mark One guy. There's multiple Mark Ones. I don't.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, there are multiple.
well, there's like one guy in charge, I assume. We just need to find that guy.
Okay.
But you know what? It's gonna work out if we just start setting on the course. Talking like this ain't gonna get us nowhere. We're gonna go and we're gonna talk to our good friend Tinkerton, and he's gonna give us all the deets we need. Still same plan, same teams. We just, go somewhere else first.
Yes, Captain.
Ahoy, that way. And I
Cool.
start
So,
walking.
are we all gonna go towards to check out the ship first? The ship the Galenians left behind, or are we bypassing and going straight to Fine Tink again?
I think we're going straight to Tinkerton.
Okay, cool. And Suma and Ruby, you all are gonna go a different direction. You guys are gonna go check out Aurelius's place. Yes.
If that still sounds good to you, Ruby. I just have to make a quick stop at the post office on the way.
Cool.
I guess.
Just dropping the letter off in the little box.
We are going to let's resolve these three going to Tinkerton's first. So Gallet, Buru, and Alok, you arrive back after a period of walking. You arrive back at Tinkerton's place, and as you walk through these very once, it's really easy to get back to where you were because the streets are very logically ordered and everything is very very easy to navigate. You get back to Tinks and you notice that on your way there doesn't seem to be a lot of people around. Uh, Night is just about to start falling now. It is closer to sundown because you arrived here sort of like 11 a.m. like noonish. And then a lot of shenanigans happened in the interim. You had a whole battle, took a short rest. Um, but yeah, not a lot of people out on the street. You knock on Tink's door. Um, slides open. Hello, you have returned.
Yeah, we have some questions. May we come in?
Why, of course. He turns, very long, spindly arm, kind of sweeps you into the room in a very affected and rehearsed manner.
Alright, I walk in. Once inside, so, Tinkerton, since we're new, I was just wondering, like, who's exactly in charge around here?
In charge? Well, the island is run by a council of our eldest of elders. Um, we call them the Mark Ones because they were the first models of Warforged created. Uh, and he kind of like walks around the room. He's kind of like putting things away. You can see that he was working on some kind of like crystal jewel that is like pincered in these two like spindly spider arm things, and there's like a chain next to it as if he's crafting some kind of amulet. He's kind of like putting things away and setting things in order because they have guests. Um, and you see they say, uh, due to their engineering at the time of their creation, they were gifted with perhaps the most advanced of intellects and ability to reason and develop certain perspectives that Mark twos like me and the so on Mark threes and Mark fours do not possess. And so it was one of their ideas to create this island to begin with, and they have been overseeing the management of it ever since.
Alright, and if one were to look for them, where exactly would this council be held?
Uh, the council each lives in their separate quarters, and on rare occasions they do meet. Although the running of the island tends to be very routine, so it doesn't afford them many reasons to gather together. However, there are certain special occasions where they're all present. For example, tomorrow there will be an execution, and definitely there will be some of them, or if not all of them, there in person in order to, you know, make sure that the proceedings go as they are and that people don't feel too panicky about what is going on.
Who's being executed?
You see, they look to the ground and absent-mindedly, a very, very person kind of habit where like they have like one arm down and the other one's like kind of scratching the shoulder, even though you're not really sure that robots can feel itches. They say there was a monk that came here some time ago. She was delightful and very curious about learning. Um, However, she was a monk of the variety of the elements. Have you ever seen such a being? Is that exceptional? I'm not sure.
I just
I've
looked
seen
at
some
Buru.
people.
Buru?
I nod.
I had a character like a way of the elements monk. Um, uh, uh, it just so happens that no matter how many times she was warned, she found herself unable to lessen the use of her most favorite element, that of fire. And the amount of damage that she almost caused to this island would have been catastrophic. And so bypassing even, in my opinion, the most garish punishment of death's row, she will actually be set to death tomorrow.
Can I roll a history check to see if I
Uh,
would remember anyone like this?
sure. A four. Um, you know that there was a small amount of Way of the Elements monk on
Oh.
on Hadzi. Yeah, if this would have been one of them that you'd have run into. Um, uh, yeah.
Insight check on Buru.
Go for it.
I want to know if this is a long lost friend of his. All monks know each other.
Crazy assumption. What does he glean from a 10? You tell him.
Buru heard monk, and he's only heard of two monasteries in the region. One from a book that mentioned duplicating towns, so he's not sure if he's the only monastery in existence. He certainly feels like it.
So I'm just getting confused looking at you like, wait, duplicating town? What? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's no, he's thinking real hard. He's not sure if he knows anyone like this. He feels like there's some recognition there, though.
Tinkerton is just looking between the three of you, kind of like trying to figure out what's going on here. There's like an extended amount of silence after like he finished his statement. Is there something strange about an execution? Do they not do that anymore in, you know, outside of Lagan?
Do they?
Do they? It sounds like
They would.
could.
They would
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Executions are still very much a thing. Um, is that all that you wanted to ask me? Why exactly did you want to meet a Mark One?
Well, recently we've been attacked by the dock master.
Attacked by
Yeah,
Shao and
by
the other one?
Shell. The other one, yes, the other one too.
The other
We
one is very cruel to me on a regular basis, so I tend not to use their name.
okay, it's okay, man. But yeah, we were attacked by them. There seems to be some stuff going on politically. We just wanted to get an idea of what's happening, maybe talk to someone higher up, get more of an idea of why we were attacked, just get things sorted out so we can just go about our business.
Politically. Well, for the most part, one of the main points of contention that there has been on Lagan is how we should be treating our refugee situation. There are a lot of people here now who are not Warforged, and the more people come here, the more that the reputation and knowledge of the island becomes more widespread. Some people feel as if we should not be stretching ourselves thin trying to accommodate so many. They say organics. I've always hated that term. It seems very gauche to me. Gauche is a word that I learned recently. It has no implicit meaning to me personally, but I am told that it is used in this fashion very often. Um, uh, it is the reason why I'm often ostracized amongst my peers because I operate on organics and I do my best to help them, even sharing the secrets and the essentially the biology of the Warforged with them. And some people do not disagree, do not agree.
Well, at the very least, we know you have a heart.
Actually, I have a series of 4 revolving pistons centered around an arcanal core crafted 300 years ago.
Does it pump?
Yes, that's what pistons do.
Okay, well then you got a heart.
Tink seems very touched by this in a way that perhaps no one has ever said that to them before in their entire life. And they say, wow, I should make a heart. What does a heart look like?
You know what? It's gonna be really hard to find one, on this island. And I've been waiting to ask this, but I just have to know. Everyone treats you so badly here. Why do you stay?
It is the only place that I know. There are not many places that would accept one such as me. And though I am accepted by some of the organics here, I've always assumed it is more that they don't really have any other choice. I'm the one person that can help them, and so they are kind to me. But I think, given a wealth of resources and other choices, they would simply neglect
He's shorting out. Someone
me
save him.
and choose.
The water.
We missed the end of that. Just letting you know.
Ah, basically, he doesn't feel like he'd be accepted in many places. And the people here in Lagan treat him can be kind to him because I mean he's the only person willing to help them out in certain situations. Um, uh, is there anything else you wanted to ask?
Yeah,
Tink?
yeah, yeah. Well, I just after that, I would want to put my arm over his and just like sort of whisper, but like stage whisper, just hey, if you ever wanted to get off this place, look and see what the world had to offer. Get yourself that personality that you already have, but you want to, make it bigger. I don't understand the Warforged thing entirely. I need to learn more. I got it. But there's an issue on the ship. I I only know how to cure scurvy, and we have no medics. It's been touch and go, I've realized now. And a dude died. Thankfully of scurvy, but if that happens through any other method, we are in trouble. And I was
Tink.
wondering, yeah, Miru?
He might be able to get you a heart if you want one.
That sounds malicious almost.
Really?
Yeah.
First of all, he turns to they turn to Gala first, and they're like, "I will sincerely consider this offer. The bulk of my research and my clients are here in the Gone, but there might be a possibility that I could pack up my research here and move it elsewhere. And you said I could get a heart?
We have one. I can't remember where we hit it.
You've
This
misplaced
monk,
a heart?
this fiery monk. Did she wear a mask? And then I will hold up my mask.
They kind of turn their head and they say, she possessed a mask, very similar to that one, but I do not recall if I ever saw her wearing it.
Can you tell me where she would be held?
There is a stockade, a sort of prison near the center of the island. You see, when certain trials and executions, and not that there are many executions on the island, when things of that nature occur, they're always held in the center of the square where many people can come and watch the proceedings and deem them to be fair or unfair or generally chime in and give their opinion on what's happening. It's a very democratic process. You seem distressed. Did you know this person?
No.
Buru?
And Boo probably won't say anything for the rest of the conversation. I'll just stare at Gallet.
I see. Um, uh, Anything else you want to ask
Yeah.
Tink? Or
So just basically directions to the stockade, and if everyone seems to have their own place, if they're a Mark One, he said. So I would just want first the basically where the execution will be taking place, and also the Mark One that is in charge or has domain over the docks. That guy seemed like the one to talk to.
over the docks. He Okay, cool. They kind of like point on the map the locations. The homes of the Mark Ones seem to be spread very in like a concentric circle around the center of the island. As if so they would be all equidistant from the middle. Um, and they point to one like kind of quarters in particular on like on a map of the island that's like carved onto this flat piece of driftwood. They point to it and they say, you would find them there.
Okay. Well then.
But I would be very careful. They are one of the Warforged who does not take kindly to organics, as it were. Um,
All right.
I don't believe that they would hurt a soul, of course. Very kind person.
Who?
Oh, their name is Waverock.
Oh, the monk.
Oh, the Mark One.
Oh, okay. The Mark One is Wave Rock. Okay.
That
Well then.
that
All right. Well, we'll be getting out and doing some things, trying to get things moving. Keep them. Just keep your thoughts on that offer, because you'll help a lot of people if you take it. But if you don't, well, you're your own person. Yeah, person. And Buru is sort of just staring out into space, so I'll just like try to move him out. Uh,
cool.
Move.
Tink kind of looks down and they nod their head and they go, I will consider it to the best of my ability. Have a good day and be safe. Cool. are you guys gonna go to the stockade, or are you guys gonna go to the House of Wave Rock? This Mark One Warforged.
I vote for Stockade. I'm interested.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna cut away from that very briefly, and we're gonna go over to where Ruby and Suma are. The two of you are walking towards. Suma, you wanted to drop something off at the like the kind of the post office.
Yeah, whatever that looks like here.
Okay, so you kind of go around, you ask for like directions and all that, and eventually someone understands what you mean when you say like post office, and they go, "Oh, you mean the sending station." Which is perhaps it is called post office everywhere else, but right here, right now, they're calling it the sending station. Um, they point you into this in the direction of this. It's like a short tower, essentially. It's a short tower, and there's like windows going up it in kind of a spiraling pattern, and you can see like seagulls, both with like kind of like there's like notches in their beak, for the strap of like a parcel or like something holding an envelope, could be kept, and they're both flying into and out of it. Um, and you walk towards it, and you see that um, the front window is broken. Um, but the door is like it says we're open and everything, and there seems to be still messages coming in and out. But the front window is open. And Ruby, you are there as well.
Well, I guess there's nothing for it. I'll just peek in the open door and see if anyone's there. And I'll just
Yeah.
say, like, hello, anyone home?
You peek into this window and you see um uh this very flustered goblin, just kind of running around and tending to the birds. And they don't seem to be like, they seem like on first glance like this is intern energy. This is, I am not paid enough and I'm having to do things that I should not be having
Simon?
to do. And it's Simon energy. It's basically this goblin has Simon energy, 100%.
Oh no.
This goblin is like freaking out, like, oh god, oh no, why me? And at the entire time, they are being watched and attempted to be spoken to, by a human woman who is like kind of standing, drumming her fingers against against like the front desk, like tapping one foot very impatiently. She kind of has like she has like brown skin and like a black hair, like it's undercut, and she's wearing like a black vest, um and she's seeming very impatient. When you come in and you say hello, she turns to you, like she notices like your presence there immediately, kind of looks you up and down very briefly, and then looks back up at this goblin who's like scrambling up ladders and stairs and like falling off of things, and like like hay is going everywhere that these birds nest on from time to time.
But she doesn't say anything.
She doesn't say anything. Um, uh, her presence here would indicate that the door is open, though.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just come in and I'll pull out the piece of parchment that I've written my letter on, and I will look at her and then back up to the goblin and just sort of say to the room, uh, how can I send this, please?
And you see the goblin kind of peeks their head.
Oh no.
Over the ledge, trying to get down the ladder, and eventually just backflip off of it and like land in a pile of like of letters, like incoming letters. And they scramble up to the desk, ring a bell that is on there. They look at you. Hi, I'm Deborah Goblinfoot, and I, I am not so very used to the process of this entire thing, so you will have to give me a second. I mean, hi, how can I help you?
Hello, I'm just sending this. I can see you have your hands full. Take your time.
Where is this letter? Is the address on the envelope? I feel like back in the day, addresses were not written on the envelope with like a stamp.
I don't know. I guess I would. Is it custom? Like I would try to do whatever I know works.
Sure, I will say like the address is probably like kind of like the name of the person.
Yeah, I'll put the
and-
name of the person and probably like the last place where I knew that she was.
Cool. Deborah like grabs it in her like like kind of fucked up and like kind of like paper cut hands and claws like all the way. Okay. All the way to Tarai. Interesting. Been a while since we've had to send a letter there. I will do my best. Which is, frankly, unfortunately, not a very confident guarantee, but I will be doing my best. And she
I whispered to
she-
Suma, I hope you made a copy
Yeah.
of that letter.
Yeah, I got the carbon copy.
Yeah, she like a seagull kind of flutters down from one of the windows, like kind of pecks twice at the desk. She puts this envelope in this tiny little leather carrier, kind of clips it onto the seagull's beak, and she whispers to it, and a faint shimmer, like kind of aura, like envelops the seagull, and the seagull almost like nods, and then takes flight and heads out. Um, and you see Deborah like wipes a bead of sweat off her brow, and she says, I'm so sorry. Um, uh, you see, I recently came into this kind of managerial, more customer facing position. I used to just have to feed the birds. I mean, I could talk to them a little bit sometimes, but uh, uh, the previous owner of this establishment is no longer with us. So I've
Oh,
kind of
I'm
had
sorry
to.
to hear that. I hope you weren't close.
Oh, we were very close.
Oh,
He
that's
pulled me
terrible.
out
I'm
of a
so
shipwreck.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Not a lot of people are kind to goblins, but Bershin was a very unique man. And as Deborah says that, the human woman at the desk kind of kind of coughs, and Deborah kind of looks over. And the human woman goes, she goes, speaking of the death of Mr. Bershin, you still have not answered my questions. And you see Deborah goes, I told you, I've never seen a disease quite like it. It looked like his organs like were ripped apart from the insides. I have no idea.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
and you see she takes out like a journal, like a quill, really fast. Indeed, yes. Actually, let me hold on. I'll just be obnoxious.
That's not scurvy.
Dude, I saw your eyes light up, and I was like, no, it's not scurvy, dude. Come on.
My
I'll
time.
kind of like look over at the journal, like that thing where you're like trying to humor the person who's like talking to you so enthusiastically, but I have no idea what's going on. Why they're telling me about this, but it is interesting. And I once they mentioned disease, I kind of like raise an eyebrow at Ruby, like,
Yeah.
disease? Anything you recognize?
And Deborah, like kind of listen. I'm gonna go over the events of that day as best as I can. You will leave me alone. Do we have an agreement? Descriptive this time and a little less screeching. Do we have a concord? And Deborah goes, yes. So, basically, I had gone over to the store in order to get more feed for the birds. When I came in, the window was broken, and Bershin was dead on the ground. Yeah. And the human one goes, okay. Are there any more? What did he look like as he was dead? I'm sorry, is that insensitive? And she turns to you, Suma and Ruby. Was that insensitive? You can tell me if that was insensitive. Should I have rephrased that?
It was a bit.
I take that
Probably
back.
insensitive.
Okay, understood. My fault. Pretend I asked that question in a nicer way, but please answer it. And Deborah goes, honestly, his face looked calm, almost as if he was sleeping while it happened. Or maybe it felt good. I don't know. He didn't seem to have been in great pain or anything like that. I don't know what to say. It's a very, very, understandably tragic memory for me, and it's kind of mean that you keep asking me questions about it. And she goes, understood. Thank you. And she
I'll
turns to yeah.
Oh, I was gonna look over at the human woman and just sort of be like, "Are you investigating the death of this person?"
She snaps her journal closed and she says, I am investigating a great many things at the same time. And my investigations have led me here. I am, well, I would give you more information, but information carries a certain price, and I would not give away anything that I feel would compromise my investigation. You see, it seems that this island is a den of lies. Is that a weird thing to say? Do people still say that?
You know, I think they do. I think they do.
Then it was indeed a den of lies, and she opens her journal and like scribbles it down, like yes, use den of lies in the future.
Good. Yes.
Um, go ahead and make a persuasion check for me. Either of you.
Sure. I'll try my best. Ooh.
A 21. Okay. So something about you catches her eye, and she kind of assesses you, and Ruby looks at the both of you. Says, I believe that a certain amount of a very, very dangerous substance has made its way to this island. And if Deborah's story was correct, and if it can be corroborated to be the truth, it may seem that there is weight to those rumors. And if that is the case, then I fear we may have a killing spree on our hands. And she kind of ushers you over to like one as she's having this conversation, the both of you. And she says, have either of you been or heard of any kind of illicit substances being passed around? It may be going under some kind of weird name, perhaps a street name. Uh, I doubt that anybody will be using a scientific name or anything like that, but any strange substances that you've noticed recently.
Could I make like a history check or something?
Yeah. 20. Probably the first thing that comes to mind would be the strange gas that was released into Valaire's room, Valere and Ruby's room, that Aurelius was staying in, that affected both Ruby and Aurelius at one point in time or another.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say I don't have much experience with that scene, but I did recently come into contact with something strange, a gas in a sort of explosive container. Does that ring any bells for you? But it didn't do what it sounds like happened to Bershon with organs dissolving and stuff. It was more of a sleepy thing.
Sleepy thing. Interesting.
I mean, that could have been the effect. Maybe if I'd been, or if the person who had been exposed to the poison had been exposed to it longer.
True.
Like maybe
or
while they were
this
sleeping
could
or
be
something.
used to put them to sleep, and that's why he was peaceful, even though something was happening to him.
True. Hmm. But it was a combination of magic and poison.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Are either of you saying this in front of this woman?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're kinda- we're kinda trusting her.
musing about like, does this sound familiar to you at all?
So this
Ring
is
any
an
bells?
entire conversation happening in front of me. Thank you. I very much appreciate when this happens because it lets me just note take for a while. And note taking gives me zen. She turns to you, Ruby, and she says, "You said that you were affected by this substance.
My friend was.
Your friend,
I know somebody. Yeah.
and there are a lot. You said know somebody and not knew somebody. So I'm assuming that they are still with us, as it were.
Definitely. Yep.
Interesting.
In the same air. Yep.
I even have this. I have part of the container that it was in. I don't know if there are any traces of the substance on it, perhaps.
You kind of give her like the remaining pieces of the sphere, and she looks at it. She takes out like a small other pouch. She's got like a swab, made of like just like wool, like instead of like a Q-tip. Swabs it across. Looks at it in the light, puts it away. Zips it back up, which is interesting. I will have to do further analysis on this subject. Um, Something very very strange is happening here. In every single documented case that a person has been exposed to the venom of a reversible snake, every single person has died. There's never been a single case of survival. And so the fact that your friend is still alive is very strange indeed. Um, as for you, of course, well, this does not, of course, apply to dwarves. Dwarves are immune to poison. But anybody else affected with poison would 100% be dead by now. And she says, she kind of like gathers her things and she says, extends a hand out to both of you to shake. And she says, "My name is Tracker. Um, if you ever have any need for some investigative work or things of that nature, you two have proven very useful sources of information, and I would feel remiss if I were to not return the favor. Thank you to both of you."
Of course. And if you require any further assistance from us, well, the birds can find me, I'm sure.
That's a
We're
very
in the
frightening
boat
notion.
with the octopus as the figurehead. Is it still an octopus right now? No, it's no longer. Okay, it's the
It's a
skinny,
scaly, yeah.
skinny.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it is an octopus, but now it is a skeleton. So it is a dead octopus. It is an octopus that has rotted away and now the flesh is gone, and now it remains as a skeleton. Actually, octopi do not have skeletons.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'll consider that a free nugget of information that you're giving us. Actually, we're rebranding. So we were first the octopus, and then we're like done. So now we're skeleton. Yeah.
Excellent. I have no idea what could have ever caused such a thing to happen. I don't understand very much, but I do think that that's very interesting. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other leads to follow. And she walks off. As Tracker goes, you notice like around her neck is this necklace, and it's like a bunch of like stones with like runes carved into them, and they seem like they're vibrating, all of them like simultaneously as she walks out.
Can I ask her real
Cool.
quick, like, where can we find you if we need you? How can we track you down?
She turns to you and she says, "You cannot track me down. I am untrackable. However, I am very good at doing it. That's why I made that my nickname. Tracker is not my given name. I hope that was self-evident, but sometimes it isn't. I don't really understand things that well sometimes. If you should ever need me," she reaches into her pouch and she tosses both of you a stone very similar to the ones, like one of the ones that she was around her neck, and she says, uh, "Tap on that stone 3 times, and it will allow you to cast sending directly at me and Mila. Wherever I am in the world, I will be able to hear you, though it is not often possible that I will be able to reach you. However, I do know information about a lot of things, so hopefully I could be of some
Great, thank you.
Cool business card.
Sorry. What? and then she walks out of the room. We're gonna cut back to our group of the three amigos over here. You all are making your way over to the stockade, and you come up to the point where Tink had said that it was, but you don't really see a building big enough to be like an actual prison. It seems to be more like a single like room quarters type of thing. But it does say Lagon Stockade. There's like kind of like things of that nature that would lead you to believe that this is a prisoner would be kept. Um, there is like two Warforged guards, kind of these big, bulky looking robots, kind of with their arms crossed, eyes kind of unmoving and unblinking from staring straight forward in the street. They don't seem to be carrying any weapons, but like one look at their size kind of leads you to like, probably don't need weapons. They're standing there keeping watch, and as you guys just straight up approach.
Hold once before that, just quick. On the way there, Gallup would have just naturally had to ask, "Hey, Buru,
Yeah.
may I ask what's the importance of your mask or masks in general?"
Many of my people believe that identity is something that you have to build, something that you have to hold on to, and if you take it off for too long, then you lose it.
The mask? The identity?
Buru nods.
It's some theoretical stuff. You know what? That sounds like monk stuff. It's very similar to the Warforged if you think about it.
Buru nods.
Not much of a talker, Buru. Not much of a talker. Okay, let's continue.
Cool.
He's basically a Mandalorian.
Yeah. Okay, so Buru, do you have any inkling of what her name could be? I forgot to ask about her name.
Can I roll a history check again?
We could just say that sorry, you guys, I'm putting it back on. We could just say that Tink would have probably told you what the name of this person was. Their name was Pom. Pom.
Okay. We're gonna use your non-talkingness to our advantage, Buru. Follow my lead. I walk up
Okay.
to the Warforged. Hey there, we've heard about the execution that's going to be happening tomorrow, and we would just like some words with a friend over here, Buru. He knew her in his monastery. They both carry masks, they're both monks, very obviously know each other. And if we could just have some words with her, that would be dandy. We're not gonna do anything, we just... Tomorrow's their execution day, I mean, come on.
You are from the same monastery? One of them turns to you, Buru.
Buru nods.
They immediately get into like a defensive stance. Does that mean you too wield fire?
Buru shakes his head.
Because you are wise enough not to on this island, or because you cannot?
He kind of shakes his head in a sort of figure eight motion. It's not really a nod or a shake.
They look at each other like as if like this is like some organic shit, and I have no idea what this is supposed to signify. Like, do you know what this signifies? And the other person's like, nah, definitely not. You can see they're having this conversation, like kind of with their like.
I would like to chime in. As his captain of many years, I have not seen him wield fire once. He wouldn't be even caught near the fires near the forge. I mean, you know, the kitchen. So I don't think he's that type. He might not be able to even. I don't like. Maybe he's not that good. I don't know. But I've never seen him do it.
I see. Do we trust this one? And the other one goes, I mean, if they do anything funny, we'll just execute them too, right? Right? That's what we're doing now? And they're like, ah.
This is a great pause.
I suppose. Wait, what?
Oh, your screen paused for me, and you were just doing a face.
Unfortunate. Before they let you through, like they let you through first, Galad and then Buru, but one of them stops you, Alok. And he says, "What about you? I see that thing hanging around your neck. Are you a wizard of some sort?"
No, I don't use magic.
So no fire from you either.
No reason to.
I see.
Don't even know how to.
All right. It's a touchy subject right now, okay? It's not really a personal thing.
I understand. Yeah.
Quick question, really fast. Buru, do you have what is in your inventory right now? Like, do you have everything on you that you've had throughout the course of the campaign? Are you carrying all of your belongings with you?
Yeah, in the backpack.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, cool. Nice. You all they let you in, and you see that the front this like stockade is basically just a front desk. That's like kind of like like kind of like at the bank, it's like a wall with like a rectangle for somebody's like to talk to you through. Um, and there's like a door in the side of this that would let you to the other half of this room. Um, and the Warforged at front looks up at you. Kind of scans you, looks you once over, and realizes, okay, if the guards let them through, probably fine. They press a button, and the door slides over. The three of you walk into this like secondary room, and you see that there isn't any cells around here, but there is a long staircase like carved into the island that leads into the inner depths of it. Do you go through? You go in. All right. Cool.
I'm beginning to question our judgment, but yeah, we're going in.
Cool. You guys walk in. It's dark. Um, the Warforged kind of have the ability to make their eyes kind of glow, and like they don't really need to see in the dark too well. So like torches for the prisoners are few and far between. Most of these cells seem to be empty. And you walk a certain distance, like in this kind of underground prison, until you hear like a voice like singing to themselves. And you kind of follow this voice, and you reach there, and you see a very disheveled, looking uh, human woman. Like her hair like is in tatters. She's like kind of like she's like wearing rags. They have not given her much here in this prison. She's leaning against one side of the wall, like one finger like tracing patterns against the cold stone. Um, Actually, it would be wood, the cold wood. Um, and barely looks up at the three of you as you approach.
Yo.
You look over. Hello. You seem new? Are you new prisoners?
Well, since no one's escorting us, I think they'd have done a crap job about that. But no, we're here just to talk, basically.
Oh, no one's escorting you. Right, right. I, a lot of my vision is gone in the past couple of weeks. I just heard a voice and I assumed that you were in the other cell. Questions for me? That's so kind. What questions?
Things just, like why were you using fire? That's just for me. I just want to know.
Why was I using fire? Oh, right. The great sin. I wasn't supposed to do it. I wasn't supposed to do it. I knew I wasn't supposed to do it. I just there should have been there was a reason, a very good reason. I remember it was very important that I use fire when I was supposed to use the fire, but I can't remember. She does
Insight
not
check?
seem. Go ahead. Go ahead and make an insight check. I will say you for
Oh no.
I'll assume he just said do it
from
once.
a 13. With a 13, I will say that you probably can tell that like she has been treated very unkindly here, and that a prisoner that the Warforged would execute is probably the kind of prisoner that would receive the worst kinds of treatment. But even then, it's kind of staggering how much like her mental state has like deteriorated.
Well, since they didn't take it from me, I offer her some water and one of my rations. You
The
seem to if you need help.
her vision is like very blurry, and so she recognizes that there is something being offered to her, but it takes her a while to like find your hand and like bite into it. Um, and immediately once that happens, she like chows down. Like she immediately like like she has not been eating very much, and definitely not has not been eating well. Um, uh, she's just partaking, and as she's kind of like it seems like she regains a certain amount of strength, and she kind of looks up and she says, where's Rotwood?
Rotwood? He ain't here right now. Who's Rotwood?
Where is he? He should have come and helped me. I don't know why he's not helping me.
Is he your friend?
Oh yes, you could say we were friends. I think we were friends.
Insight check on that.
Go for it.
Does Rotwood sound familiar to anyone? I don't know why, but Rotwood sounds like we might have heard that name.
I think we've heard it, but I don't.
Okay.
um
Yeah, they're great
no,
friends.
they had the most healthy and beautiful friendship, the likes which the world has never seen before. Were movies a thing in this setting, there would have been an entire cinematic universe dedicated to their friendship. Cool. Yeah, she says, he he said he'd help me if anyone ever found out if about about and then she can't say, but you know she's trying to say the word fire here, but she cannot like force it out of her lips. Um, she says he said he would help. He said that no one would ever find out.
Who do you think told the authorities? Did you do what you did in open space?
No, I didn't. I didn't. She you can see that like the memory of this event has escaped her entirely. Blocked out in one way or another, whether through magical means or uh through just like trauma means or just like time. Um, she says, I don't even remember ever doing anything on purpose. Or in public. I kept my, usage of my power um, to my quarters, and um, whilst I was with Rotwood, um, although there would be times where I'd be, walking around at night, and I would just to entertain myself, throw a spark here and there, but I I, I, I I don't have any memory of ever trying to do what they thought I was trying to do.
One second. I turn to Alok. Is it just me? Or does it sound like she was charmed or someone wiped her memory? It seems like magic may have done something here, because I assume, and I turn to Buru, that monks wouldn't be this forgetful.
Possible.
I'd like to kneel down in front of the cage.
Okay. What do you say?
Nothing just yet. Just
Boo, you kneel down to the cage, and as you do, like you get down low, and your mask hanging from your belt kind of like clatters a little bit, on the floor, and she like, as if like reflex, like her head snaps to the sound of it. She says, "I know that sound. I know the sound that that type of wood makes." And kind of drags herself to it. Um, tilts her head, and she says, uh, leans back. "I thought perhaps you'd be one of my family, but it's good to see another one of us on the island." And then kind of slumps back against the wall again.
All monks know each other.
Put my hands through the bars. Just palms up.
She echoes this. Uh, Even though I think she can barely see you, she also does that in front of you.
I don't know what to do here. I'm
Alok, what are they doing?
I'm not sure. It's probably some monk thing.
Yes.
They use their hands a lot, so it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course.
I'll
Yeah.
Do we say something?
I'm gonna take out my spark rock, and I'm just gonna give it to her. I'm not gonna say anything.
Cool. Very cool. That's actually why I asked. I was wondering if you still had that on you.
Are we
Cool.
smuggling?
You just like slip it in through the bars.
Mhm.
Cool. You place it in her hand, and immediately you can tell like, her skin is like very uh like dark, but like she has grown slightly paler with just like the lack of sun and being stuck in prison for so long. But where she holds this spark stone, her skin returns to its normal color, like the color that it usually is. And she kind of holds it, and you can see she like snaps her finger, and a tiny spark appears on one end of her thumb. It like dances across her fingers, leaps up to her other hand, and then she like flicks it up, and it kind of lands in your palm, and it doesn't burn you, but like it kind of radiates warmth throughout your palm before like wisping into smoke.
I'll catch it, and then I'll put my finger to my lips, and then I'll put my mask on, and then I'll step away from the cage.
Very cool.
He put his mask on.
Uh Very cool. Okay. I'm gonna reward inspiration for that one. I was hoping that someone would remember about the Sparkstone. So very cool. Cool. Is that all the questions? Is there any more questions you want to ask of Tom or
Uh,
do here
where
before you guys left?
where can we find Rotwood?
Rotwood. She says, yes, he well, his home is in the inner circle with the rest of the Mark ones, but um his laboratory is elsewhere in the city. Um, and you can see she takes the spark stone, and like a very faint, like the tip of her finger, like glows red, and she burns like a rough map, like of Lagan, like an octagon, into the wood of her cell, and kind of like uses these grid lines and like kind of points to it, as to where you might find this laboratory.
All right, thank you. And you think
Uh,
Rotwood is a friend?
Rotwood was very, very kind to me. I'm sure that he would be kind to you as well.
And he hasn't shown up in
Can
the
I?
stockades, like to visit you?
Well, no, but I'm sure that it's just, you know, his position being what it is, it may damage him to some extent to be seen visiting me. But I'm sure that, behind the scenes, he's doing everything in his power to
Is he a Mark
help
One?
you. Oh yes, one of the oldest.
The oldest.
Do you know what he does in his lab?
All
What is the
sorts
point?
of incredible experiments. Um, oh, I could fill pages with them, but his research is absolutely incredible. I mean, I had met people on Hadzi who could do magic, but for some reason, the things that he can do are somehow more wondrous than that because I know that they're coming from more mundane means.
Hmm. And just if you happen to remember, it seems you're having some issues right now. How'd you first meet him?
She gets quiet. I don't remember. As far as I can look back, I think it feels Rotwood has always been there.
All right.
Always.
Can you just do me a favor? Come closer to the cells. I just need to check something. I see. I'm the
She
current
moves forward.
I'm the current medical officer on our ship, so let me just try to make a medicine check. See if she's got any scurvy.
Cool. Look for some scurvy. No scurvy. She's generally in very poor health, though. Uh, Warforged are not all of them are super aware of what humans need to survive. They have not been treating her very humanely. Um, uh, and you can tell that perhaps even amongst prisoners, she has been treated with extraordinary disdain for the grave sin of wielding fire. Um, with it, so to a certain extent, that they wouldn't just like sentence her to rope. Uh, yeah.
Okay.
I have one more question. When we first began talking, you said you were hearing voices in the cell over.
Um, I thought that you were. I thought your voices were coming from the cell over.
Okay.
My vision seems to have been compromised somewhat in some time.
All right. Actually, another question on my end.
Yes,
Are there any rats around here?
rats. Uh, Honestly, they do a very good job of keeping the rats out. I mean, it's a floating island, so rats are not exactly endemic to this place. They mostly sneak aboard on ships and whatnot, but they do a pretty good job of exterminating them.
Okay. That was it. All right. Well, then we're gonna see what we can do. You seem like a genuinely nice lady, and we're gonna have some conversations with other people because I feel bad.
Don't feel bad, as she laughs to herself. She says, "If I am here, then more likely than not, it means I deserve to be here."
You don't even know why you're here. I mean, you know why you're here, but like, you don't even remember the events that took place. I'm just saying, you at least deserve to know what happened.
She seems to have tuned you out at this point. For some reason, like she's kind of like in the world of her own right now. She just says, "If you see Rotwood, tell him that I'm sorry."
All right, now get up and leave.
Okay, cool. You all head out.
Yeah, we're all heading out. So I know this isn't exactly our prerogative, but he is a Mark One. So if we go to Rotwood, you know, two birds, one stone, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little worried. Uh, the way that she talked about him, it sounded creepy, almost
Oh
like
yeah, no, definitely creep vibes. He has a laboratory and she doesn't remember what she did. I'm
yeah,
I'm
and
cracking
apparently
the case.
his stuff is like really nice. Sounds like drugs or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no,
So
her eyes weren't dilated, so she didn't have drugs or scurvy.
okay, it still sounds like some sort of mind control, like you said
Yeah,
before.
it didn't
So
feel. Buru, you have not said a word and you still don the mask. Is this also part of identity?
Oh, he's crying and he doesn't want you to see it.
Oh.
There it is.
Alan.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything.
It's okay. We'll fix this. Because we have
Cool.
a prerogative to help people. Because we're the B5.
Yeah, we are.
Alright.
Oh, right.
In the dank, creepy darkness of this like underground prison, the three of you like strike a pose.
I'm like very weakly and like,
I do
I don't know.
silent image just so that Ruby would just be standing there like in a T pose, not caring. Perfect. We need one more. Can't do two. Okay, let's go.
Cool. You all make your way out of the stockade. You see that the receptionist doesn't seem to care very much. They're just like, well, hope you had a great time in the stockade. Hope you didn't break anyone out. It doesn't look like it. You guys make your way out. The guards would stop you earlier, let you leave. Um, uh, yeah, they let you leave like without any hassle or any issue. But they do stop and ask you one question before you go. They stop you, Gallup, specifically. And one of them say, "You said that you were a captain. Is that correct?
Captain, my captain, yeah.
And which ship would be yours?"
It's the only one that's currently docked, from what I've heard. It's the Slim Reaper.
I see. I had heard that there was another ship that docked. We received the message earlier
Oh
today, but
no.
perhaps you have not been back to your ship in that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Will you be staying in any sort of inn while you were on Lagan, or will you be spending your nights aboard your ship?
We'll see how it goes. Honestly, well, we're sort of a carefree group. You know, we let the
Uh,
winds take us.
well,
Probably an inn.
if I could recommend one to you, I would recommend the Cork and Cove. It is from what I've heard from you organics, a very pleasant tavern. Um, in the what do they call it? Yes, the People District. That's not the name. Is that the name? No, it's not. The place where the people live. Uh, because you can tell the Warforged have like a very long like it's like a string of numbers that make sense to them that would like designate where that is, but like they don't have like the full name of like people things yet. Yeah, they'd recommend that to you. And you were on your way. Where are you headed, really quick?
I think we should all probably, if we're going to explore the laboratory, we should all meet up just to be safe. A laboratory, it feels like something everyone should be there for. Anyone against that?
Valid.
I agree. I'm sorry, I wasn't here before. Did we ever sell that boat? Did we do that yet?
Nope.
No, you have yet to
Okay,
discuss doing that.
cool.
We've got other
Cool.
things.
You went straight to Tinks, heard about an execution, went straight to the person being executed. We can say, do you guys want to head off to like take care of that on your
Oh yeah,
way,
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
back to
yeah.
the ship?
You know what? We
Cool.
probably should finish that. All
That
right.
was the one thing we went out to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably
Got
should do
immediately
that.
sidetracked. Sorry,
Execution.
heroism was calling.
All right.
Um, Cool. We're gonna cut back to Ruby and Suma. Ruby and Suma, you have just run into a very strange human woman named Tracker, who seems to be like a detective of some kind, doing some investigation. Suma, you managed to send your letter at the sending station. A seagull is now ferreting your letter across to a distant place as we speak. You guys are heading over to Aurelius's.
Um, kind of have a question, or maybe could I just investigate? Because I'm kind of curious. Like, do they send letters? Like, do the Warforgers like to deal with the outside world at all? Like, I feel like no, for the most part, right? Just for the
Go
refugees.
go ahead and make an investigation check while you are still at the sending station.
Oh,
Mm, Okay, 13. Um, from what you can tell, so this place is a mess. Deborah has not been taking care of things the way that she is supposed to. Um, you can tell that there are some Warforged letters coming out, but they seem few and far between, and uh, they don't seem to like be very like important or anything. Like if there is correspondence between Galen and Lagan, it wouldn't necessarily be like in these letters. They may have some other type of. It would be like Warforged, like having pen pals across the seas, just for people to be like, I want to understand more about this. How do limbs work? What is a heart? That kind of thing. Um, Cool. You guys are gonna head out now, or you just want to stick around the sending station with Deborah for a little bit?
I'll tip Deborah little extra for her trouble.
Oh yeah,
And then
I forgot to have this conversation. Deborah kind of like claws her way back to you from like, I almost forgot. Actually, sending the letter is 2 gold, and if you want to pay for the return service on the other end, it would be 4 gold.
I will give her 5, and you spend this on something nice for yourself.
She holds you give her 5 gold, right? She takes the first 4, like chucks it behind her, like into this big box that has like where like
Good
doesn't know how to
try.
she's not like keeping track of like expenses or anything like that at all. She's just like, I know these things go somewhere. And then she holds the 1 gold coin
My
in
God.
her palm. She says, "You are the kindest person I have ever met. Other than Bershin, but Bershin is also dead now, and I'm very upset about it. I think I'm just kind of emotional. It's 1 gold, but still." Uh, and she says, is there any way I can repay you?
No, it just sounded like you were having a hard time with the death of your friend. Maybe you can use it to take some time off.
She,
Ooh,
she
can I look through the mail
shines,
here?
in 1 second. Deborah takes your coin, she shines it like on her little like ratty tunic, pockets it, and she says, "That's a kind gesture, and perhaps a very good idea. But I think sometimes you have to work in order to not drown in your
Mm.
own grief."
I know that feeling well. I
I regret
understand
that,
you.
and I hope that there is a time where you don't, and that feeling feels strange and foreign to you. And as they're having this kind of emotionally charged conversation, Ruby, you were like tiptoeing over to
I
the
love
mail
this.
while Deborah's like, it's just been very hard. Virgin was the first person who was very kind to me, he was an adventurer back in the day, and instead of killing me in a cave, he took me under his wing, and we went on this long pirate adventure together. We, ran away from a dragon. And Ruby, you're like sneaking into like Metal Gear Solid, there's like a pile of mail. Is there something you're looking for in particular?
I kind of meant as a joke because I was gonna say that to Deborah and be like, "Oh, can I look through the mail?" Because
You're
you said
asking me.
anything. Yeah, I was in character.
Okay. She says no,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
immediately goes back to her like long backstory exposition for no reason.
Eventually, I will try to extricate myself politely.
Cool. Yeah, as this conversation goes on, like if you took a time lapse, it would be like the two of you in one section, and then you're both moving closer to the
Mhm.
door, but the distance between you stays the same as every time you
Yes.
back up. She leans forward because she just needs a buddy right now.
Well,
Eventually, she's like, I understand you have to go. You seem like, very busy with your shield business. I recognize the insignia. The both of you really have just a wonderful day. Your presence here really made up for that very off-putting woman who was here earlier. And she bids you adieu. Cool.
Alrighty.
Do y'all head off to Aurelius's place now? I will say that before you left the ship, you kind of got the sense of where his like he kind of like he's like a little bit he was a little bit lucid like in spurts, and as you were taking that short rest, you would have had the opportunity to be like, hey, where the fuck do you live? Um, and so you head over to Aurelius's place, and you notice that the door is still open, like it's like cracked, as if whoever had removed Aurelius from this place. Oh, actually, you know who removed him from this place. Justine and his partner. Like they didn't close the door. Do you walk in?
Mm. First, I'll just look around and see if there's anyone sort of in the area, like any Warforged or anyone else like that.
Cool. Make a perception check. At six, the street seems almost unnaturally empty, as if like on purpose nobody's on around, but you don't feel any eyes on you. You are not currently being watched. But you do clock the fact that nobody is present. Sometimes when you're doing something illicit, it's almost better to have like a few people like far away so that it feels like kind of normal. But right in this moment, it's like it's a little too quiet. Uh, uh, you two just walked in.
I think so, unless Ruby, you want to do anything else.
After you.
Alrighty.
You two, the door creaks open. The two of you walk in, and you see that similar to Valaire's room, this is a very sparsely furnished and not particularly lavish room that Aurelius has been sleeping in. You can see like there's like like tomes and whatnot, like a small ragged bookshelf. Uh, he sleeps like not on a bed, but kind of just like a roll. Um, and there don't seem to be any weapons here or anything like that, but there are lots of like um, pages and pages and scrolls of something like of like his own writing, just like filling up scrolls in this room. And you notice, actually, yeah, make an investigation check. Seven. A nat 20 investigation for Ruby. Okay.
Yes.
Ruby, you look around and you find kind of like scattered about are fragments of the same um bomb that was hurled at you previously. So
Shoot.
you're yeah, it's like the same fragments, they had the same runes on them that Suma had investigated and found was like this the kind of the preservation room and keeping something inside of this sphere like in a certain state of being. um and you find several scraps like pieces of that around, and you see that none of the windows are damaged in any way. And I would say on a nat 20 investigation you can tell that um this was not thrown. They're like big clumps. They're kind of hidden like beneath scrolls and stuff. You have to dig to find them. But this was not something that was thrown. It didn't throw and was shattered the way that it happened with you and Aurelius earlier. It's almost as if um, it was dropped just vertically. And on with that nat 20 again, you find a small scrap of paper. Um, it's like very neatly folded. Um, you can tell like because there's like perfect creases in it, as if it was like just smushed down to fit in somewhere. And it says, "Dear Aurelius, tell the Storm King I send my regards. Sincerely, Rotwood."
Oof. Who's this Rockwood guy? I've never heard of him. So I'll show Suma the like shards of stuff that were just scattered in the room. So turns out our guy Relics was hit not just once but twice with this stuff. So It's no wonder he was like almost dead before Gallet saved him. Scurvy.
Yeah, definitely. He's been through a lot, but I think we should probably take this just in case.
I think he may have let them in the room too, because it wasn't thrown. It seems like he let them into his house, and then they just like ambushed him.
It's possible that I mean, they were from the Galen Republic as well, so perhaps he didn't suspect that their intentions were what they were.
I will. Both of you make I guess an insight check for me. Let me do insight. An 11.
No.
Honestly, I had this as a DC 5. This is just to remember something that was said.
Sure.
Okay.
Aurelius specifically told you that the last thing he remembered, was receiving a message from the message system, and that he was trying not to go with the Galenians. Like he did not want to be. He ran away from there and would likely not have
Right.
opened the door willingly for people.
I thought that could have been an effect of the poison or magic to like maybe make you forget certain things. I don't know. Okay, so then
I wonder,
he doesn't remember.
Could they have sent the bomb through the message pipe?
Ooh.
Is that possible?
Is that possible? Is it in the same like trajectory of like where the pipe is?
I will say that's a nat 20 investigation. So you could piece together that the size of the bomb, I think judging by the amount of like pieces that you have found of it, is roughly not too dissimilar in size and shape. They're both spherical as the messages that come through these pipes.
Interesting.
Guess our next step would be to find out who this Rotwood guy is.
That is a good next step. Before we go, I just want to quickly ritual cast detect magic to see if there's anything in this room we're missing.
Cool. You cast detect magic, and you sense that there was a very potent poison that was released here, magical in nature, and you can also detect Aurelius's own elemental magic being used at like the same time, like it, almost as if like because you can like tell. I think I want to say that you can generally tell like how long ago a spell was cast or like the general amount of time, and they seem to coincide with each other. Similar in that fashion as to like how he was like pulling out the poison from Ruby during the fight.
So yeah, nothing that doesn't really fit what we already know. Yeah, I'll take some of his like if he had any personal scribblings and notes and stuff like that, I'll take anything like that, and anything that it looks like he might miss, because if he's coming with us, then he probably left here in a hurry. He might want some of his stuff.
You grab like a bag of his like the things that seem like his personal effects, a couple of like scrolls. You see upon rooting through his stuff that a lot of his scrolls look like prophecies or like predictions or like things that he has felt on the winds, and he has like crossed some of them out for one reason or another, and some of them he hasn't crossed out. So you kind of like you bring those with you because those seem to be like the most pertinent at the moment. And then you head out of Aurelius's room. Cool. Where are you two headed now?
Guess back to the ship.
Back to
Yeah,
the ship?
I think back to the Reaper to wait for the others.
Cool. Okay, we're gonna zoom back in to Buru, Gallet, and Alok. The three of you arrive at the front of Flotsam and Jetsams, which is the driftwood, like this like shop that like makes stuff out of wood. Uh, it is run by this. I think I said halfling. Pretty sure it's a halfling. It's a halfling man named Flotsam and a half orc woman named Jetsam, and they are married. Um, you come in, Buru. You take the lead because you're the only one who's been here before. Um, and the moment you push through, um, you see the half orc woman, Jetsam. She kind of like stops the door with her hand. She says, "Sorry, we're kind of closed at the moment."
I'm not here to be sassy. I'd like to sell you some wood.
Tell me some wood. Right. Well, is this something that could wait until the morning or no?
Probably not. It's a lot of wood.
How much wood are we talking exactly?
Small ship's worth.
Small. She like puts up a finger 1 second. Closes. Like you hear like faint murmuring, and then the door swings back open, and now Jetsam is there, and like Flotsam is like kind of like at her knee, just like chilling. Um, uh, let's talk price. And then but make sure no one sees you come in. She kind of opens the door. The three of you walk in, and
Stealthily.
stealthily. And the door closes behind you. What is your pitch here?
Captain?
Well, while walking into the room, I would like to just have a minor illusion of a little mustache, like a little, and it's like got the loop.
Okay.
All right,
A
and
curly Q. Yeah.
like B5 pose, and then we pose.
Mm-hmm.
I hesitate.
Alright.
Well, we got the best kind of wood out there. We got the top-notch stuff. It's a great wood. It's from Gallon Republic. You're not gonna get that wood anywhere else. We got Bonanza's amount, and you know what? I think your shop it may need a little bit more wood. It's been lacking some wood. Maybe the whole city needs some wood, but this is good wood. It's weird, it's teared, but it's still good. It's been able to sail the seven seas. It's been able to go over giant waves, and you may think, oh, that's a smallish ship. How could that can house many people? It will be safe. You can rest anywhere. You can rest inside, outside, anywhere. There's a great pillar in the middle of it that makes it go. There's nothing that can stop this in this wood. It's premium wood, so we're talking 1,000 gold.
I Look. They're gonna give you money for this ship. I want you to roll persuasion with advantage to see how much they're gonna end up giving you for this incredible pitch.
I feel like they're gonna just live in the boat now. That was such a good pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank goodness for advantage.
21. Okay. Um. Uh. Um. You see Flotsam the halfling, his eyes widen, and like with every like continuous like everywhere that there should have been like a period in that rant, but it became like a comma or a semicolon, and it kept going. His eyes get wider and wider and wider, like there's like dinner plates on his face now. And like at the end, he turns to Jetsam and he says, "Honey, we gotta. This sounds like really good wood. Did you hear?" And she's like, I heard all. Really? Yeah, I heard.
Top-notch wood.
And he's like, and then she says, "Look." She turns to you, Gallup, first, and she says, "We're gonna take the ship. 1,000 I can't do, but I can do 850."
850 and a smile, and you got it. From you.
I've never once smiled in my entire life.
That makes it priceless.
I have a very rare form of muscular paralysis that makes it difficult for me to smile. And then you see Flossom like elbows her, and he's like, "That's not true, honey. You smiled on our wedding day." And she's like, "I understand that I smiled on our wedding day. It was a mistake, and I vowed to never repeat it." And he's like, "Yeah, you smiled many more times after that." He's like, "God, if I smile, shut up." And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay." And then like really aggressive fake smile at you, and then immediately a grimace. And she goes, uh, listen, this is not final. We will come and check out the ship in the morning and make sure it is actually as good as you've made it out to be, but it sounds pretty good, and honestly, we've been thinking about potentially getting off the island.
It's a good boat to do
Trying
that.
our chances elsewhere. Yeah, yeah. So we might not actually. We might just close up the shop and see what happens. Wow, a whole Galenian ship. Those things are pretty fast. And then she says, "We'll check it out in the morning. And we'll have the gold ready for you by then. And to, I guess, as a show of thanks, um, you see she goes in the back and she pulls out um, the lyre that you were trying to buy earlier, Buru, and she sets it down on kind of on the counter, and she says, "Free of charge. Consider it a finder's fee."
Free of charge. That's music to my ears.
And then you see Flotsam picks it up. Uh, uh, cool. So you guys have accomplished that. You guys stick around and ask them any more questions?
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of the mustache already.
Cool. It disappears, and Flotsam's like, "Wow, that was fake the whole time.
The whole
Incredible." Um, cool. They kind of like open the door and look both ways in the street before you leave, and Jetsam closes the door and she says, "Right. So, tomorrow, let's say 10 a.m. Is that a good time?"
Yeah, I totally have a watch.
Yeah, just look at
Uh,
the sun.
just look at this. You what? You don't know how to look at the sun and determine the exact hour and
Looking at
minute
the
of the
sun is
day.
bad for your eyes. I have my people do
um,
that for me.
She says, "All right. Well, I have no idea what that means. However, um, we do have a deal. And I don't back down from my deals, so I'll
You've
see you
already
then."
paid the smile.
She whatever the opposite of like smile, like a smile literally upside down appears on her face, like the most exaggerated grimace of all time. Opens the door. You guys walk through. It is nighttime now. It is deep under the cover of night. The sky is cleared. The stars are shining down. You all make your way back to the ship unharmed, uh, perfectly safe. Um, However, as you get back to the ship, that's your destination, right? Specifically the
Yeah,
ship?
yeah.
Cool. As you get back to the ship, you realize that you kind of all got gathered back together. You arrive roughly the same time, let's say, and you realize that hey, your crew is still not here.
All
Really
of
having a
them?
good time.
Well, hold on. All of them?
Simon is still here. Simon never
Okay.
left.
Okay.
Simon's a real one.
I
Are we
understand.
back yet?
I understand partying and all that, but I also have a good. Some people would be cheapskates and stay with the ship to save money for the night. There's no cheapskates here, and
That's a good point.
they don't have a lot of money that we gave them.
Also, everybody's here. I meant when I said everybody, I meant everybody,
Yeah.
like the five of you.
You know,
Uh,
Okay.
we might
I
have.
guess we could check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, let's check in
Hmm.
on Aurelius. Make sure he's alive.
And Simon.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll check on the animals and the prisoner.
Cool. Buru, you go in, check on the animals. The armored snail is like still chill. Did you guys just leave the snail on top of Justine, the cleric?
I
Like,
see
is he
no
just
issue
still
there.
I mean,
see
I
no
on?
did.
issue.
Snail's just having fun
Okay,
here.
Who's
I'm
gonna
just
get the
making
snail
sure
off
that
of me?
that is still okay. Cool. So you open the door to the place where the animals are being kept. You see Justine is like humming to himself, like having kind of accepted the cruelty and the indignity of his own position and his own fate. He's like, oh, in the winds, like some weird old Galenian folk song about the wind or whatever. And then eventually he hears the door close as you close the door behind you, and he kind of shifts his head around to face that way, and he goes, "Oh, it's you again. What have you come to torture me more, or is the snail on my back not humiliating enough?"
I'll give him some rations, and then I'll feed the animals, and I'll pat the snail and the cleric on the head, and then I'll ask him his name.
It is Justine. No last name.
Okay.
We
Because I don't know that I ever got that in character.
Yeah. I think I assumed that you guys would have asked them at some point, but I don't know if anyone like actually asked them.
Okay.
I appreciate the rations. Is
He's still
there
tied
any
up, though.
way that as sort of a side to these rations, like as a snack, perhaps as a dessert, you could lift this monstrosity off of my back? Is that a possibility? Could we arrange that?
The mask is still on.
should.
I just look at him, and then I walk out. I lock the door again.
That seems fair. Turns back around to face the other side of the wall. You exit out. Somebody went to check on Simon. Who went to check on Simon? Alok. You come in. Simon immediately like startles awake. He's like, I'm
Oh.
so. What did I miss? What I miss? Did I miss
Yeah.
anything? Did I sleep through anything important?
No, I don't think so.
Well, thank God. I was really worried. Okay. Um. Uh. And you see, like, he kind of slows down, kind of looks around. I don't hear the crew. Are they still not here?
Yeah, they haven't come back yet. We're a little worried about that. Do they normally do that?
No. They never do that. I don't remember the last time that any of us stayed at a tavern or slept at an inn. I mean, and you see he gets very quiet. He says, I slept in an inn once instead of on the ship, and it didn't exactly work out.
Right. Okay. I guess we should go check on them.
Yeah, they know not to leave the ship. It's one of the rules. So if they aren't on the ship, something horrible must have happened.
Okay. Huh. Okay, I'll run back to the rest of the group.
Cool. And
Specifically to
who's
Gallet.
okay? Who is, as these conversations are happening at the same time, who has checked in on Aurelius?
I will do that.
You two.
I won't
Ruby, are you there
look
as
on
well?
him.
All right, all three of you walk into Aurelius's, or I guess Captain Aramis's room. Now Gallets, you walk in and you see Aurelius has kind of like found the energy. He's like to like kind of like lift himself higher up on the bed. He's like staring up at the ceiling. As you walk in, like a very faint gust of wind comes with you, and he says, "Well, hello. If it isn't my saviors."
Hello there. Brought a few of your things from your house. I don't know if you care about any of it, but I thought you might have left in a hurry, so. And I'll just drop the bag next to the bed.
Oh, thank you. He kind of like only glances at it briefly before glancing back at the three of you, and he says, so, how did it go?
Quite interesting. We found the message that was sent to you, as well as something that detonated a poison into your house, which likely knocked you somewhat unconscious.
He kind of
At
like
least,
rubs.
at the very least, mentally unsound for the time being.
Yeah, he rubs at like the side of his head and he says, yes, the wind has been helping me remember. It was almost instant. I cracked open the message and I could just hear a hissing. And the more time I've had to think about it, the more I've been able to remember. I could feel the wind itself pulling the poison out of me. It still wasn't fast enough as I was rendered unconscious, but that seems to be what saved my life back then. And he says, his hand wanders down to like this, like his like mid section. And he says, I died by other means. There was a, a moment I was in the afterlife. I was beyond the material plane for a moment, and I ended up back here. I To this moment I still don't understand that. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it ever since it happened.
That is a mystery to us as well. At least we didn't find anything regarding that in the evidence in your house.
He turns to you, Ruby, and he says, "You're a cleric, are you not?"
I am. I deal more damage than I do healing.
So you wouldn't
Technically.
have prepared Revivify today?
I have what?
You wouldn't have prepared Revivify today?
Revivify. No. No. I have Thunderwave. Would that shock your heart? You know.
Right, I see. It must have been something else then. Perhaps something in, I don't know, perhaps it was fate not wanting me to die yet.
I'm sorry, Aurelius. I know that we said we would keep you safe and we failed that. I hope. We're trying to figure out what happened. And does the name Rotwood mean anything to you?
Rotwood, yes. He kind of like furrows his brow. He's a Mark One, um, one of the nastier ones. Both him and Wave Rock, Master of the Docks, and Rotwood, Master of Advancements, are both some of the most avid anti-organics here on the island. But you can see something clicks, and he goes, "Was his name on the message?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And
I was say hello to the Storm King, something like that.
yeah, it was say hello to the Storm King for me. And you see, he says, "I see. Right. Huh. You remember that I gave a prediction in the middle of the battle? I said that danger was coming.
Mm.
I still sense that danger now. It has not passed. It wasn't the battle that you had fought earlier. Whatever danger is coming, it is coming soon, and it is terrifying." And he says, you can see like his like kind of like the wind like rustles his hair a little bit as he's like swirling over his body, and he says, "I can only think of one reason why somebody would want to get a windseer off an island, or out of somewhere in general, and it is that you are about to do something that you don't want anybody to be able to predict."
Makes
So,
sense.
Indeed.
I don't know what that might be, but I and you see he coughs like very viscerally, and this lasts for like a good amount of time. Like he just cuts himself off like in a coughing fit for like a prolonged amount of time. And you can see that while he has come back to life, it seems that there has still been some damage done to his insides because he is not immune to poison. Um, he was able to pull some of it out of him and and divert some of the damage, but he still is in a lot of in a pretty bad state. He says, I wish I could help more, but I think I need to sleep now. And then he kind of like nods off. At this moment, Alok, you come in because you knew that you're looking for Gallet, and you knew that they were talking to Aurelia, so you can go ahead and come into the room.
No, Airlock. He's miming.
You're muted.
Yeah, no. Alok, we should probably not Alok. Gallet, sorry, Gallet.
Yes.
We should probably look into this this crew problem sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
It's
The only thing that we need to maybe discuss before focusing on that matter is the safety of Aurelius and Simon. Because right now they're on a ship. People want Aurelius probably gone, and no one's gonna be here to defend them. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Simon can hold his own in a fight. So I was thinking maybe we
Oh
can.
yeah, no.
well,
I can.
Aurelius can stay with us, maybe, right? And
He's
just
sort of
disguise himself.
bedridden, so I was thinking maybe we just
Oh,
someone
still.
carries him to Tinkerton. That is slightly safer because we can't just also be carrying a man that's bedridden into the mystery of our crew. So that's the best scenario I can think of right now. That or just lodge him up in a random inn, but that still has danger.
I think we should not do that. I think Tinkerton is probably our safest bet.
Amazing. All right. Thanks for speaking up. So, who wants to carry him?
I can help. Did Simon mention where the crew went to get drinks that first night? And also, is that coincidentally the same tavern that was recommended by the Warforged?
Simon did not mention any specific place because he wasn't included in the plans. You get the sense that it is kind of a common
Ouch.
occurrence that he's not included in such plans because he is what you would call a tattletale. So he doesn't know, but I would say it is not too far fetched that they could be. I mean, it's the one tavern you know of at the moment.
It's
It
the
could be
human
that one.
district.
Yeah,
assume
it's
that.
it's the flesh zone, so that might be where they've congregated.
All right. Before leaving, one more thing. Just I let Simon know about the transaction that will be happening in the morning, and if we are not there by that time, you will see that through, and it is at 850 gold, not one less. And if it's one less, maybe. But still,
Aye, Captain.
it's a very important job. Only you can do it. Quite literally.
Really?
Quite literally.
Does that mean I'm useful for something?
I mean,
Is that what you're saying?
You've always been useful. You don't
He
need to
fully
question
breaks
that.
down in tears. He fully starts crying
It's okay.
at that.
I
Your
hug him.
your departure is delayed. In fact, by the because your movement speed has been halved due to him like grabbing onto your leg,
Okay, we gotta
and you have to
go.
kind of like drag it.
Yeah.
And like every so often you'll forget he's there and he'll come up for breath like, yeah, no one's ever really said that to me. It's just like, and then he's
What a
crying.
champ.
Like a spray bottle.
Uh, Eventually, Simon lets go of you, and you know he steels himself with a very rigid determination. He says, "If it takes my life, I will see to it that we get 850 gold for that ship. I promise on my life." And then he like salutes you, and then he like kind of turns and like marches back to his room. Um, cool. Sorry, who's carrying Aurelius again?
I am.
Can help.
Yes. Okay.
You need help.
And Ruby are gonna carry Aurelius. Are you all going to go towards the Tinkertons? Are you all going there together, or
Let's all
what's
go
the
to
plan?
Tinkerton, then all move to the human district. Let's stay as a tight knit group.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like some bad stuff is happening.
Yeah, we've split the party enough for today, I think.
Cool. All right. You all. I'm just gonna fast forward. You guys walk through. Are you making any attempt to be stealthy as this is happening?
Yeah,
Should
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Can I
I
get?
could cover
Can
Aurelius'
I get
face
like?
too?
yeah, we're just bringing a
Yeah.
dead body.
Can I
Yeah.
get like a group stealth check? Like everyone roll a stealth check. Ruby, you roll with disadvantage because of I think plate.
Actually, I want to silent image Aurelius into a like just a block of wood. She's just carrying wood.
Okay.
What did we do with the
Strong.
body of the fighter?
Uh, his his body fell directly into the water.
Okay.
Like
So
when he was killed, he fell into the water.
Not our problem.
Cool. We have 2 rolls below 10 and 3 rolls above 10. So we're good. I will say with those 22s, you are able to successfully kind of move as a group. Maybe like Gallet and Ruby are being a little louder than they should be, and like Sumo with that 12 kind of has to be like, "Shh, guys, please." Um, but Buru and Alok, you are dead silent. You're moving in perfect stillness, to the dark and perfect stillness. You come up to Tink's place. Knock on the door again. The door slides open. Hello. This is the 3rd time I've seen you today. That's a pattern. Um,
Dangerous.
is there something I can help with other than the already multiple things that I've helped you with?
We got some wood for you. Ha! Joke. It was actually a patient all along.
Oh, this is a human. This is an elven person. He do you explain the situation to him, or
Yeah,
do you just
yeah.
say, or you go, he knows Aurelius. So he's like, oh, Aurelius Winsu is. Oh, what has happened to him?
Well, he was hit with this orb, um, which is now in pieces, and it contains poison as well as magic. We're not really sure what it does, but he was hit twice with it. So
Beware,
Hmm,
Rotwood. He put the hit on
Rotwood.
him.
Rotwood. And you can see that the Tink gets very, very quiet. And he says, "Hmm, Rotwood is perhaps one of the oldest and most powerful of the Mark Ones, politically speaking, on Lagan. Uh, an accusation such as that carries very, very heavy weight. Are you certain that it was Rotwood who did it?
We
we
we aren't like 100% sure, but there's like every single piece of evidence is pointing at him. But to say 100% sure means we talked to him and he's already confessed. So it's like a 95% mark that like he's up to something against organics.
um can we show him the message that has Rotwood's like signature on it too? And be like,
Sure. You show it to him, and this is not like a physically written message. It seems to be like block typed, like pressed, like you could like have a message like submit it, and it could be like pressed onto paper with like kind of printing press style. Um, uh, he looks at it and he says, "This is indeed very damning evidence, but I find it hard to believe that Rodwood would use such barbaric methods. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to do some thinking on it, but Aurelius is, well, he's been a good member of the community. I'll make sure that his wounds attended to as best as I can.
And be careful
And
of
you,
the message system. Just pointing that out there. Someone sends you a message,
yes.
just letting you know something could be in there.
I see.
Open your
Um,
mail.
well, I mean, poisons aside, I, don't need to breathe, so the gas would be ultimately, um, ineffectual on me.
True. But if they put like
Huh.
a bomb in there, that's gonna be effective.
I see. Well, I will make sure to thoroughly scan and identify each message before I open it. That is very, Why is it? Tink goes ahead and he lays. Kind of goes into the back of the workshop and like clears out a workbench, and like uses it as like like an operating table almost. But like he puts like thing like blankets and stuff to make it comfortable for Aurelius to lie on. Lays him down on there, and you can see that he has like this rudimentary like medical equipment that you can tell like he uses probably when he does his amputations and his like prosthetic attachments. Um, and he kind of like hooks Aurelius up to that to like monitor his vitals and everything like that. And they close the door behind them and say, "I will make sure to take good care of him. I wish you all the best of luck, and if I learn anything more about Rotwood, I will let you know. It's still strange to me that he would conspire against organics. He has very poor opinion of them in general, but he was kind to one of them." And he says, they say, "But perhaps Aurelius, we'll see." And then lets you out of the room.
All right, let's find our crew.
Cool.
Play the Pink Panther music.
Huh?
Play the Pink Panther music.
Okay, will do.
Do you guys think maybe Rotwood did something to our crew?
Yeah.
There's a lot of organics in our crew, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the feeling
I don't
that
know if that's smart.
I mean, he's
Especially
able to
that
put
Suzanne.
a lot of people to sleep really fast.
Suzanne's not. She's more of a rebel. I think that it's very possible, but that's also a very big move to take out a whole crew.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. I am worried about them nonetheless.
Maybe it's just a pie eating competition, and
Yeah.
they're all invested.
Maybe Suzanne's like trying to get everyone against us and like just
Right.
don't show up on the ship anymore. Like maybe it's that.
Could be mutiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, either way, we should have gotten some kind of message, either to like say that they're hostage, or that they're mutiny. They're like mutinizing. Is that the verb?
Sure.
Having a mutiny, and yeah.
By the way, are there any birds around? Just wondering.
Oh yeah, there's some at the post office.
Is it only okay? Well, if you see a bird, let me know because birds can help us. That's it.
Okay.
I did do a favor for the postmaster. Perhaps she would lend us a gull for the night.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You need one now?
Well, I'm just saying if we can ask the bird to keep it. I can talk to animals.
Oh, and well, I wonder. I will rifle around in my sleeve and pull out my focus, and I will summon my bat familiar.
Perfect, you found one. Let me talk to it.
I'm not used to having a friend around. Bella, would you come here, please?
Hello. I
Hi.
was beginning to think you forgot about me. It's been like 4 days.
Oh no, we talked just this morning when we were docking the ship, remember?
Oh yeah. It felt like 4 days though.
I know, it has been a long day. Say, I don't know what you've been up to, but would you like to break your boredom with some subterfuge?
Oh yeah. What do you need me to do?
Listen to Gallet, whatever he tells you to do.
Alright. Okay, so here's the deal. We need to find our crew. Our crew has gone somewhere else, and we need someone like you to find it. Bats have sonar, correct? Like they can screech and hear from the screech.
I mean, I'm a very particular kind of bat. I'm a shy bat, and we actually do use our eyes. Although there is a rudimentary ability that I have to use to an extent, echolocation. I could definitely give it a shot. What am I? I'm looking for an entire crew of people.
Well, like, did you get any view of anyone on our ship when you were very? You were on the the ship, you just were locked up most of the time. But did you get anyone? Like Suzanne's a small halfling. You want to keep an eye out for her. She's causing trouble. Let's see. We got Andros, Minotaur. He's the big guy. If you can find him, just try to get him to us. He's gonna be helpful. Patrice, I'm worried about him. He's a great cook, but I haven't seen him a fight yet. Maybe he's good at that. And I think that's basically everyone of note from the ship.
There's that halfling, right? What's that?
Suzanne.
Then,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You see, Bella says, honestly, I didn't really get like a good look at everybody. I remember, I think his name was Aramis and Valaire. They captured me, and they took it in shifts to do the feeding to make sure that all the captured animals stayed alive. So I'm not really sure what the other ones looked like,
I
but
got you. Don't worry about it. This is where I come in. This is him. This is her. This is it, and I just keep on doing it like every crew member that I remember. Some of them are like a little bit warpy in the face because it's like they're not worth remembering, but like most of them.
okay.
And then
Okay,
that guy
sweet.
does cards, I think. I don't know.
Okay. Got it. Okay. And he turns to you, Suma, and he goes, this is what you want me to do? Is this will be good?
Yes, please take a look for them, and if you find them, don't intervene. Just come back to me and let us know.
Okay, great. Bella flies off into the night sky. What do you guys do while you wait for Bella to return?
I think we should just still try to look, right?
Yeah,
Should we
can
just
Belle
go to the
find us
inn?
if we're
Yeah,
walking
Bella can
around?
like snap back to wherever Suma is.
Mm-hmm. I can
Snap back
yeah,
to
I can
reality.
summon him back to my side at any time. So
Yeah,
Okay, well then
Yeah, let's go look.
let's go searching.
cool. You all make some perception checks for me
No, we're all good
as you walk through. Let's see what you guys can see. Incredible.
God,
Okay,
nice.
not so incredible.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Um,
on fire.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
um, hmm. On that 20 perception, you all are looking through Ruby. Um, you notice the Warforged settlements, like the little quarters that they have, um, their windows are lit as everyone's kind of home for the evening. The Warforged don't really like to go out and drink and party at night. Everyone seems to like be in their quarters. You notice one particular kind of like house, tiny quarters as you were passing through the street. Um, the lights are off, so whoever this person is, they're not at home. And this strikes you as odd because you haven't really been seeing people out and about. Um, yeah. Do you what do you do?
So I point out the house to everybody. So seems like somebody's out doing something when most Warforgers are usually home by this time. Either that or it's the house of the guy that we killed.
Well, yeah. What district are we in right now?
You work like because you came from Tink's place, basically. So you're moving out from Tink's place to like kind of the organic district. But on your way there, you pass by like a series of like kind of like small clustered apartments, and one of these ground level ones has their windows, has their lights off. So this would be somebody from the Warforged. You got you got 16. So I will say you notice like along like the floor like of like leading up to this home, the wood seems more like seems more soaked through, as if uh water falls like is exposed to this wood more often than is in other places on the island.
is this worth looking at? Do you guys think, or should we just move on?
I want to investigate.
I think it's time for us to do some pirate stuff.
Sweet.
Okay.
Let's investigate.
Break into some homes.
Cool. Um, go ahead. Yeah, the door is locked. The door is locked. Whoever used to live here, did not lock the door. I mean, lock the door on their way out. You don't want to like be outside in front of this person's door for too long. So I will say you kind of get one attempt to like pick the slot from one person.
You want to go, Alok?
Yeah, yes, I'll try to do this. So, mm, uh,
Nice. Okay, it was exactly a DC 14. Cool. You get to work, Alok. A hand steady. The door flicks open. You guys
I did it.
walk. You guys walk in, and you see a very tidily organized room. And you can tell from like the types of equipment. There's like nets and hooks and like kind of like modifications that probably Tink made up of like flippers and like that kind of thing. This is definitely a diver's home. Like the deep sea divers would have this kind of stuff in their room, and you look around and you see um, there is on the table a small little gilded box. It looks kind of worn and like scratched up, but there's a gilded box and a letter.
Check it for traps.
Sure, yeah. You go ahead and check for traps.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I guess make a perception check. 17. There's no traps around. There's no traps around. Um, but you can tell that the actually with a 17, you find a little false like false wall, like something that can like push in and slide open, and you do so, and and you see what seems to be like a shrine almost, uh not to a deity but to a person. um what There's like a small like uh, uh uh, try to paint it themselves, but they're
Can
not.
you
Yeah.
repeat yourself? For me, you cut out.
Oh, okay. um it seems to be like a painting,
Oh,
but like very crudely made and like crudely done, as if the Warforged painted it themselves. They're not super familiar with like art and whatnot. It looks to be a person with like sea foam green hair, and just like it it looks to be like a blue dress, but it's kind of hard. You can't really tell features or anything, but it's just like
like a 5-year-old drew something with crowns. Like
basically it's marginally better than that, but with like watercolor paint. And it seems to be like a little shrine. You can see like this diver has like found like small like strings of pearls and like jewelry or like gold that has like washed up like hit the bottom of the ocean. It has been crammed in this tiny shrine. um yeah, you find that in
can
your attempt to look specifically for traps.
can I roll for a check because that seems water based and I may have heard about them.
Sure. What about what precisely?
The person, like that type of hair, that dress, like what kind of god this would be.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can make a roll, maybe like history or something, or insight, perhaps. A nat 20. This is a very rare hair color. Um, this is not a god. This is a person. This is like a person. It's hard to tell exactly what type of person they would be, because the most common with that very distinct hair color would be people who have somewhere in their lineage siren as part of their lineage.
So,
Huh.
so what I got from that is basically it's some siren chick.
Yeah, you would note that the legs are legs, so it's not like
Could
fish half.
Are there any
so
siren people? Go on, sorry. I'm thinking over here.
oh, has Tinkerton mentioned that, I don't know if this is Rotwood's home or not, but if it is, he mentioned that Rotwood was into an organic at one point. This person looks to be an organic. He seems to be obsessed with it. I'm getting like really creepy vibes from
I
this.
don't think this is Rotwood's home
Ooh.
because we're not in the central district, which is where his home
Yeah,
is.
I don't think this is.
Oh,
This seems to be a random diver's home.
This could be one of the ones we killed, or
Yeah,
the
it's very
one that
possible.
wasn't the Mark one.
Definitely one of the ones you killed.
Okay.
Well,
I don't think it changes anything to say that,
okay.
so I'm gonna say that.
good news is this isn't really a religious shrine because it's just a person. So let's just take the jewelry and the gold. Let's just take that. It's not for
What?
anyone. I open my satchel. Don't worry, I'll split it up with y'all. All right. And,
Okay. Let me.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, it's all good with me then.
yeah, we're gonna split it. I mean, come on.
There is 41 gold in there in total of like
Yeah.
coins and also the amount you could get from selling the jewelry itself. So you've uncovered that. There's still a box on the table and a letter.
Oh yeah, let's open up the box and the letter.
Um, who opens up the box?
The captain shall. I
The
checked it for
captain.
traps. It's safe. I know it is. Clink.
Captain Abate, you open up this box and kind of like a very palpable surge of like magic energy kind of fills the room. It's not like it doesn't hurt you or anything. It's just exposing whatever's in here. Has exposed something decently powerful. It is inside of it is a pair of earrings, one with like a black gem and the other with a white gem. You kind of like as you're staring at the earrings, you look down on the envelope. You can tell it's kind of supposed to go together. It says to Miela of the Cork and Cove.
What? Just real quick. I heard a story a long time ago. Hey, Ayla, can you put this on one of your ears and I'll put it on one of my ears and we'll see if we fuse?
I don't want to fuse. What do you mean by fuse?
Yeah, no, we're not. Okay. Nothing. Just a child's tale. Just a child's tale. Oh, these are nice.
What?
You guys, yeah, you guys want to do that?
I mean,
I
he
don't want to
doesn't
fuse.
He doesn't want to. I'll just put one on. I'll put the black one on. It looks
Do we
nice.
want to play with it, or should we just have just see what do his
It's
magic?
just jewelry. What? Okay, well you can do it, but I'm wearing this one. I like this one.
All right, I'll put on the other one.
You put on the other one, and nothing happens at first, and then I think probably one or the other one of you decide to like wonder like, is this supposed to do anything?
Yeah.
And then in that moment, both of you feel like a strange sensation in your body. You feel like a gravity in the center of your stomach, like pull you in,
Oh no,
and
it's
in an
happening.
instant, the three of you who are not wearing the earrings watch this happen. Gallet is like disappears into one tiny point in like a puff of black smoke. Alok disappears in a puff of white smoke, and then reappear in each other's place.
With the earrings still
Interesting.
on, or is
I
it?
move.
Are
With
they
the
off?
earrings still on you.
That's
What?
amazing.
That's weird.
In a weird way, we did fuse spatially.
Yeah, so it's like
Yes.
wherever one of them was standing, the other person is now standing. Like they have
Can we
switched
do this
places
on
entirely.
command?
Yeah, try it again.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
Fuse.
Sure. Yeah, try it.
Wait, don't do it again.
Go
Oh,
for it.
Um,
No.
after after like 2 back and forths, it stops working for the 2 of you.
Aw. Maybe it's only a few times a day.
I think we broke it.
Well, it still looks
Uh,
nice.
But you can try giving it to other people.
Oh yeah, okay. Here you go, Buru.
If you put both
Either we
on
can
at the
take
same
it.
time.
You try to put both on at the same time, but when you clip one on, and when you go to clip the other one on, it goes in, but you find that the other one has disappeared from your ear and is now back in your hand where the other one was. There's like some kind of enchantment that prevents you from wearing both.
I put the other one on the table, so either we can
Yeah,
take it.
someone gotta try it. Come on, Suma.
Take the other one.
Okay. Suma, you put on one, Buru puts on the other, and then as you kind of like will yourselves to do it, it's kind of uncomfortable, but you switch places like in an instant.
All right.
And kind of as you are like looking around this place, you find that on the box there is kind of an insignia, kind of like in the bottom, like where if you had like removed the thing with the earrings, it looks like the Roman numeral 2.
All right.
Interesting. Who should hold on to these?
Well, it can't be me and Alok right now. So it's either you, Buru, or Ruby.
Yeah.
That you summon your familiar, put it on the familiar, and then bam, that's that like a climactic moment to
That
dodge.
And then have the
would be
familiar fly
interesting.
up, and then you switch spots.
Yeah.
And
That'd
then
be
you
really fun.
fall.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be used for very cool moments. I think you
That's
guys...
what we do. We give one of them to Rotwood, and have the bat be way above us.
Oh no! Okay, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. It happened.
Oh my god.
Okay, no, this is... Hold up. Since Rotwood, as you all know, we've all discussed our adventures to each other when we got back to the boat. So, when Palm is about to be executed, it's falling down. Bam, a Rotwood's in there, cut off. Poetic justice because he put her in the position.
Guys, yeah, I have command. I could just be like, accessorize. Then it's gone.
Best command ever.
All right. So, if we run out of ideas, all we gotta get is you near him and you say accessorize and give him. All right. We already got a plan to
Yeah.
defeat him. Afterwards,
That'll definitely work.
Afterwards, we have to get off the... I want everyone to understand that we'd have to get off the island immediately, no matter the circumstances of our ship. But actually, no, we wouldn't be able to have it repaired in time. It's tomorrow, but still, a cool idea. What's in the message? There's a message, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It says to Miela of the Cork and Cove. You can tell this is kind of like the address, like kind of addressing it to somebody. I can spell that name out though. If that helps. And it is just like a long, like long has it been since I chanced upon the beauty of your blah blah blah, that kind of thing. And
He
it
was a
ends.
stalker?
It ends with, though your love is silent, as you always are, my love is loud. I cannot wait to see you.
She's probably the siren.
Probably.
Seems like.
Why is she silent, though?
A word
She
for
dead?
Loves?
I wonder if she's part
Yeah,
siren.
that's-
She perhaps doesn't speak.
Well, a silent siren is...
But then she would sing.
Yeah, like I feel like that's something we should look into. But once
I feel
again,
like-
I do want to stress we do have to look for our crew. Right now, we're done
Well,
robbing. I think we need to go find
we
our
could
crew.
kill 2 birds with 1 stone because she is at the Cork and Cove, and the Warforged recommended we go to the Cork and Cove. Perhaps they recommended it to our crewmates as well.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it's like a
Which-
trap for humans. Like you go
Yes, I
here
was about
and
to
you die.
say. The way
Trap,
they said it,
yes.
I don't trust it.
I
At
do
all.
not trust it either,
Yeah.
but it seems possible that's where they ended up.
All right, let's. Anything else that we can
Maybe.
just like rob from this guy, just real quick?
Yeah,
Nothing super useful.
Wait.
Other
You
than
said he
it.
was a diver. Any cool diving stuff?
Yeah, like fishing
should we
nets
grab that?
and like some hooks and stuff. Like flippers that you
Oh,
could
flippers.
perhaps
Taking flippers.
like
Let's,
you know.
let's sell everything.
Little
Can we
snorkel.
sell the wood that
You know
his
what the
house
warp
is made
word?
of?
Okay, well,
Uh,
they're gonna see us carrying that one out, to be fair. And also, the guys that buy the wood, we've already sort of like run them out of money. Like I think, and they're already sort of done doing
Okay.
business. I think this is. I'm taking the painting actually. I don't know. I just feel like I want that painting now. When you start stealing stuff, you start feeling like you can take more.
I don't know why that's so savage to just take this painting that this person treasures, theoretically.
Well, now
Um,
Theoretically.
yeah, theoretically. You know what? I know the perfect place where this can go.
Captain's quarters.
Incredible.
Every single
Um,
island, I will steal one painting.
that's a cool quest. As you are standing there, in this random diver's room. Actually, it was the one that killed Aurelius. That's whose place it was. You could have just used the key, but no one brought it up. I didn't want to say it. Cool.
This key will come
Bella.
into use at some point on this island. I'm telling you guys.
Bella reappears on Suma's shoulder, and he's like, I have very bad news.
Yes, tell us.
No.
I found your crew. They seem to be very, very angry about something, and they have started a very, very large bar fight.
Where?
I can guide you there.
Yes, please.
Cool. Bella like zoom. Yeah.
Okay. Before we go, could I like grab something to like stuff my ears with? I'm just scared about the siren part, so I just want to, in case
Sure.
that is an issue.
Wait, one more question.
Yeah.
Does this guy have a bed?
No, it doesn't seem like Warforged need to lay down.
Do they have any furniture?
There seems to be like a section of the room that's like curved inward like that, and you could see like there's like indentations on the floor where probably they just stand in that spot and like kind of power down. But they don't have,
Power
like,
armor
anything.
station.
Do they have any
Yeah.
furniture? I'm just wondering, like a bookshelf, table?
Some tables and dressers and like bookshelves. Yeah, there's some like
Okay,
regular
tables.
furniture around.
I'll go to the bookshelf, and can I make a strength check to attempt to carry it just for a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Roll make a strength check. Hell no! That is so heavy. In fact, you've stuffed your pockets with so much gold already that the added weight of this bookshelf is simply too much for you to bear.
Darn it. Okay, well,
Um,
that's unfortunate. You sort of just sometimes when I get more, I want more. I could have stolen this if I could pick it up.
you all rush over. You follow Bella. You get out of the diver's place. You follow Bella as Bella kind of streaks through
Yeah.
like these streets.
I will. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. If he's
Um,
within 100 feet of me, I think I can see through his eyes.
Sure. Yeah, is
And
somebody just like
communicate
helping you run?
telepathically. So yeah, so I would like to see, when we're sort of before we go into the building, like I just want to see what is going on in
Sure.
there before we sort of
Bella
arrive on the
gets
scene.
in there first, and he kind of like flutters up to a window, peers in on your command, and you see your crew in this giant bar. Like, you see Andros, the Minotaur, like has his weapon drawn, and he's screaming. He's like, "What did you do to Patrice? What did you do to him?" And um you can see this like short seafoam green colored hair colored girl. She's like kind of cowering behind another very tall like Goliath woman. The Goliath woman is speaking like, I told you for the last time, we have no idea what happened to your friend. And then the other pirates like screaming. Suzanne has her dagger out. And then
I'm like narrating all this while I see it.
yeah, and there's other like patrons around the bar who are like kind of on the side of these two. They seem to be like kind of in charge of the bar. This Goliath woman and the woman in the picture from the painting. And yeah, that is what you are seeing. Tensions are high. Things have already been preemptively broken, and it seems like a fight may break out at any point in time.
When she says this, I cast Expeditious Retreat to get there faster.
Cool. You all you rush over. You are going full speed. Everybody else is sprinting as fast as they can.
I can
Cool.
keep up with Gallet if he runs like that.
Cool. You all get there to this big lushly decorated tavern. There's like around the pillars, there's like seaweed of different colors spiraling up them. It's decorated with like seashells and like fossilized starfish. And there's like a big sign with a cursive letters. It says the Cork in the Cove. There's like a bottle, there's like a ship as well. And as you kind of rush up to it, like you see someone is flung through the doors. It like rolls, hits the ground, rolling. And it's not somebody from your crew, but as you go to check on this person, Andros comes out and he says, "Oh, hey, Captain."
What's happened? With the loudest voice I can muster. Everybody stop!
You hear some people get quieter in the other room, but you're out. You're kind of still far away from like the commotion. Andros hears you though, and he says, "Listen, Captain. I know you're new around here, right? But they did something to Patrice.
And I
all
will
right,
be
they
told
did something
what
to
that
him.
is.
They, he was here, right next to us. We're all having a drink, and then he turned into nothing. Does that make sense? It's like he melted away. There's somebody casting spells in there.
I'm gonna go. Let me go in. I'm gonna give it a check. Don't kill anyone.
Sure. As he relays that story, Alok, you hear something in the back of your head, and in fact, you can almost like being right there near this bar and hearing that story. It's like you get like a small like vision, like a twinge in your brain, and you can kind of see like zooming in, Andros, Suzanne, and Patrice are sharing drinks, and you see they all reach out for toast, clink it. Patrice drinks his, downs it. They all down it immediately. Slams the flagons onto the table, and as Patrice does that, like his hand starts like melting into like black smoke and dust, and it gets like spreading up his arm into his other arm, and as he's fading away, you can see that he has kind of a look of like resignation. Well, shit.
You
Who's gonna
kind of
feed
cut
the
out there.
kids? Oh,
He has a look of what?
he has a look of like resignation, of like acceptance as this is
Okay.
happening to him. And he at the end of it, he looks over to Andros and Suzanne, kind of as she's fading away, and they have like these looks of horror as this like one of their close friends is like disappearing in front of them, and he says, "Ah shit, who's gonna feed the kids?" And then he's gone. And you kind of like you kind of get that vision and like that, and you hear his last words like in your head, and like a pounding, like searing pain that kind of ebbs as Gallet, you push through the commotion. What's everybody else doing?
Following behind Gallet.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
right behind Gallet. Ruby, you as well. Buru, what is your move? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Staying back with Alok.
Cool. Buru keeps you company. The other three, you rush into this tavern, and it is pandemonium. The pirates have fully. You see, like Suzanne has like broken a bottle and is like using it to like as a weapon, threatening people. And there's like a whole commotion. There is fighting going on. No one seems to be targeting you. It seems more like your crew are the aggressors, and kind of like the other people in this bar are more like on the defense.
Mm.
Am I there yet?
Yeah, you're in there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're all three of you are in there. You come into the door of the bar.
Okay. I go on the chair and just shoot an Eldritch Blast up. That's enough.
Make an
I guess.
intimidation.
Yeah.
Yeah, make an intimidation check. I'll say with advantage.
Okay.
Okay, you don't need the advantage.
Yeah.
Cool. We're gonna take that first roll anyway.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like blast a small hole through the roof, and in the clatter of like parts of wooden planks like hitting the ground, the room falls quiet, and you see the Goliath open, kind of like in disbelief. That's gonna cost so much gold to replace.
Don't worry,
But
Jetsam and
like
Flotsam got a lot of wood now.
um you hear out of the stunned silence oh, captain, you hear people say,
I
oh,
will be
captain.
explained why my crew is going crazy like this and not in fun merriment.
You see Suzanne steps up onto a table and she says, they did something to Patrice. All right, somebody here is some kind of arcane spellcaster person, okay? And they did something to him, and I'm not gonna leave until I figured out how they did it.
All right, everyone, make sure no one leaves. Let's set up a perimeter. Who is the one that you're pointing
I don't know any of them. It could be any of them. And she turns to Ruby and Sula, and she says, do you guys know if there's any kind of magic that does that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to remember back in my studies. Does that sound familiar at all? Can I make an Arcana?
You can, yeah,
Okay.
make an Arcana check. With an 8, you definitely know that this is not normal. Like it doesn't feel like a normal spell was cast, but it makes sense to you that
I
somebody watching that might assume that it was some kind of spell, like a
Mhm.
normal spell.
I'll also start. I'll start casting detect magic and see just if there's anything.
Sure. You cast detect magic, and in the room, kind of where Patrice was sitting, you sense like it's not any kind of normal magic you've ever dealt with. It feels like the magic of the gods. Like a person, a wizard can make somebody else disappear, and
Mhm.
that would leave behind certain traces. A
Yeah.
god could want someone to disappear, and they just will. And that's the kind of trace that you detect around this place.
Was it Suzanne who asked me that, or asked us that?
Suzanne.
Oh
Yeah.
Okay.
no.
I'll turn back to Suzanne as soon as I finish what I am doing, and I'll just shake my head. This was not. This was not a trick. This was not a spell. This is something different. Nothing I think these two could have done. And I'll nod at the Goliath and the Siren and just try to give her a look like, don't accuse people of this because this is crazy.
Yeah, the Goliath kind of like nods her head. She says, "Thank you. I don't understand how we came to this. I understand that what you and your crew have gone through is very tragic, but trust me when I say that we had nothing to do with this." And you see the girl, the siren next to her, kind of nods her head furiously, but doesn't say anything. Um,
Can someone take me to where this happened and explain each event as they occurred?
Sure. Sure. You hear Andros from the back. He like very grumpily pulls out each chair, like slams them down in the places where they were, and he goes, "Me here, Suzanne there, Patrice right there. We were drinking our beers. We toasted. We said something shitty. I don't know. We said something cheesy, and then he just started like, I don't know, man. It's like he melted into dust and smoke. I, it, I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Chino,
Yeah.
is this something that I may have dreamed about before?
No, this is not similar to something that you've dreamed about before. You might make the connection, however. Cool. Alok and Buru probably walk back in at this point to check it out.
Are there remaining clothes, or is that gone as well?
That seems to be gone as well. Just kind of like melted into inky nothingness.
All right. Well, then the first things we gotta check is the bartender.
You see this girl with the seafoam green hair, and she's wearing like a blue dress with a white apron. She kind of like sheepishly raises her hand, like points to herself, and she kind of like steps up forward and glances over at the Goliath, and the Goliath walks over as well. Um, uh, the Goliath goes, I'm I'm Dell. This is Miela. We own this bar. Um, what questions do we have? Do you guys have for us? I mean, I really don't want to prolong this any more than we need to, but I don't like the kind of reputation that shady things are happening in this bar because it's a place for good people. Just have a drink and rest.
All right. It's okay. If it's as they say, maybe some god just smote him, but we need to go through everything because Patrice was we were close. So, basically, we just need to do some basic things such as where do you get your supplies of what were they drinking, Andros?
Just regular old ale, dwarven.
Yeah. Where'd you get your dwarven ale? Who's your supplier? You're on a ship that moves, so it's not easy to always get that. Did you perhaps get it from just a random ship and it was faulty? Do you use the same amount for everyone? Why would it? Did anything Patrice get was special?
No, he just got the and you can see um like Miela the siren elbows her, and Miela in like a form of like signs to her, basically like what she wants to say, kind of like for her input on the conversation. And you see Dell the Goliath like nodding, and she turns to the rest of you and she says, look, we got the ale from just a dwarven ship that stopped by a couple of weeks ago. We were getting rid of the last of it. Everybody in this bar was drinking the same exact thing. All right, we don't, you made a good point, right? On a ship that moves, you don't get a whole lot of variety unless you really try to get it. But so everyone tends to get the same thing, and that's what the entire table was having. I poured them all from the same pitcher.
Does he still have his drink left, Patrice? Like, is the drink left?
There's some left. Oh,
I like sniff
sorry.
it.
Say that again.
Oh,
It just smells like regular old ale to you.
darn it! We need a guinea pig for this.
Can I investigate around the mug and maybe around the seat that he was in?
Sure, go for it. Roll an investigation check.
Nope.
Ah,
With a 10, you're like, man, Patrice, may have farted in the seat. It's possible.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just
Smells
saying it's
weird.
possible.
It is possible.
It's definitely possible.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Um, maybe we could ask Tracker. Like, we could message her, hey, someone else has disappeared. Want to come investigate? Do you know anything about this?
Do you want to use the stone that she gave you?
It's like we could use it multiple times, right? Or like as many times as we want.
It is a one-time use type of thing.
It's a
She
one
gave
time
us
use?
each one though, right?
Oh.
So
She gave each of you one.
so yeah, you could use yours and then I'll keep mine.
Yeah, and keep in mind that you get 25 words.
Ugh. I feel okay. Should I type this out?
Sure, yeah. You can type your exact.
In the meantime,
But-
I'll ask Doe.
Okay, yeah.
Is this a common occurrence on this island for someone to just?
I have literally never seen anything like that happen in my entire life. I've never even heard of that ever happening.
And I turn to Miela, you too?
She nods.
Alright. She got an issue?
You look and you see that there's no like damage to her vocal cords at all or anything like that.
Can I think back? Have I ever read about anything like this happening before? At all?
Go ahead and make. Ooh, what should it be? I guess like give me a wisdom check, maybe. Give me a wisdom and a history. Yeah.
Wow.
Not bad.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay.
I'll take
Very,
that, okay.
very high rolls. You think back in your time reading books at the library in your hometown, and you don't think that you've ever heard of anything like this happening. However, on that 17 wisdom check, you remember a bit of a conversation that you had with somebody, um, and you hear the words, uh, it gave them great pain and great suffering and great choices, and they suffered with it
Oh,
from their
shit.
first death to their last death. You hear that in your mind as something about the image of smoke calls to mind a different image of mist.
Okay. Hmm.
Just exploded into mist. Like, what kind of color was that mist?
This one was black.
So we got red, green, black. Man, these are.
Gallet,
Yeah.
can I talk to you in private?
Oh yeah, sure. Pretty crowded room. Do you have like a place where you keep your janitorial tools?
You see, Dell is like flabbergasted. Like, you listen. Your entire crew just came in and like fucked my whole place up.
Well, yeah.
And then you see Miela like sign to her like, and like with a look on her face. And Dell goes, okay, all
We
right,
lost a trusted member, and the only
right,
thing that
yes.
right now points it to you, or literally just being smote by God. And so we're going with the logical next course of action.
Okay.
Thankfully, no one's fighting right now. We'll keep it that way. All right, now let's go just to a random room, I guess.
She just points you up. She goes, we keep the ale, and you guys can go in there safely. As the rest of the crew kind of start like putting things back. Notably, Suzanne is not helping.
Well, of course she wouldn't.
But people are kind of.
You know what?
Some
No,
people are
Suzanne,
making
you
it
come
sound.
with us. You come with us, Suzanne. You're part of this caper now.
No, I'd actually rather Suzanne does not come with us.
Alright,
No.
you stick with the crew. Never mind, Suzanne. You're out of the caper.
Literally, just make up your mind. I'm like,
You know,
seriously.
I guess everyone can come with us, the five of us at least, just not anyone else from the crew.
Andros, you're in charge.
Got it. So
Oh, make Suzanne help. She looks
No.
really bored right now, you know?
Ruby, you can come with us too. Ruby, Tasuma, Buru, Gallet. You guys can all. By the way, is it
Fine.
Tasuma or
Assemble.
Suma?
Hmm?
Is it Tasuma or Suma? How do you?
It's like Suma, like tsunami kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So do we pronounce the N or the M?
Yes.
Suna. Okay. What is it, A-Lock? Do the ghosts
Okay.
tell you something?
No. Well, I mean, sometimes, but
Wait, is the ghost here?
I don't know. Maybe
Can you not see ghosts? I thought you could.
I don't. I don't see them. No.
What?
Anyways,
Okay.
he just kind of like picks up the amulet that's around his neck. This thing, it's weird. I'll spare you the details. But when Aurelius died, I had a choice to either bring him back in exchange for another person's life, or just let him die. So I brought him back. I wasn't sure.
Hmm.
So
And
Oh my god.
I fear this is my fault. And
Can I pick Suzanne or somebody?
I don't get to choose. Also, I'd rather not choose because that's
So what you're saying is
It's pretty.
it wasn't me fixing his scurvy. It wasn't.
that probably helped.
It helped.
I think
but
that I don't think it would have been an
Well,
option.
that sort of hurts my. I thought I was a miracle worker. I was. Well, you
No,
know.
and I'm not either. This is
Well,
bad.
Laylock, all I can say for sure, it's don't worry. Like,
No, I'm worrying.
don't hold this against yourself. Like,
No, I am definitely gonna hold this against myself.
Wait, so
I've dealt with cursed objects like that before, and you never get what you want at the end. Dealing with them at all.
What? It's kind of weird because it's not like I don't think it's evil. It might be. It feels it. I don't
It's
know.
either pure neutral or evil. There is no good there.
Yeah.
wait, so can you always do that? Or does it always make you
I
make
don't
a
know. I
choice?
hope not. I hope I can't always do that.
When Patrice
Also-
I don't know.
Does it? Just random crazy question. Does your necklace now hold the soul of Patrice? Just wondering.
I doubt it, but it's
So
possible. I don't
Wait,
know.
so
I've never
what-
used it before, so it just happened.
Can you talk?
That
to
means
it?
Patrice must have it.
I didn't even know that this thing could do that. I just
Can you try talking to it now?
okay.
Give it a shot, man. We switched places today. It's Freaky Friday.
It really is. It really is. Okay, I'll just like pick it up and say hello.
You hear a voice from behind you. Not in there, kid. Not in there.
What?
You turn and you see like kind of like half like in mist, like half like obscured by shadow, is Patrice just kind of like floating around. Nobody else can see this right now, but Alok.
It's a
So
shame he can't
you see
ghosts. He can't see the only communicate.
you see Alok like turn to see this voice, but you don't see what he's looking at.
Hey, Patrice, are you okay? Well, that was a stupid question. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nah, kid. Nah. Don't apologize. Honestly, it was my time.
Bad timing.
This is just more like something catching up to me. Wait, what?
Cut out.
Oh, he says, it had been my time a long time ago, and this is just, I guess, destiny catching up.
I wouldn't call it destiny. I think it was just bad luck. I mean, maybe you can help me cook. I feel bad.
Oh my god.
We'll see about that, kid. We'll see about that. Who knows? Right? What's death but just the next ocean to sail? You know? I don't know. What
That's
the fuck
scary.
am I even talking about? He kind of twists over to the other side of you, and you see he kind of like drifts over towards where the rest of the group is at, and he like is like observing them as everybody's like putting their chairs away, and some people are like apologizing to Dell and like getting yelled at by her, and then Miela kind of pulling Dell back to keep her from like yelling, and Suzanne using her dagger to file her nails in the corner. And Patrice turns over to you, and nobody else can see what's going on. And he materializes like a silver knife, like a chef's, like a huge chef's knife. He like flips it out towards you, and you perfectly catch it in your hand. And he says, "Make sure they eat all right." Got it?
I'll try. Yeah.
Holy shit, where did
That's
that
the
knife
least I
come
can
from?
do.
Do we see the knife?
Ah!
Yeah. While it's in Alok's hand, you see like a misty like surreal, ethereal like chef's knife, like a butcher's knife, like kind of in his hand.
Does it look normal to me?
No, it looks the same.
Okay.
It still looks ghostly to you. Mark down on your character sheet that you now have proficiency with like cooking tools,
Oh.
chef's tools.
Okay, I'll take that. Cool.
Cool. All right.
While
Yeah.
that is happening, so I turn to Ale. So can you see him?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
And I bring up my ring and cast Unseen Servant as my last slot. Does he see anything else?
Oh, this is the question.
Yeah. Because they're somewhat similar, but maybe
I don't
not.
think so, because I think it's just invisible. It's not.
Well, no,
This-
but
like a
the
spirit.
servant is special.
I will say that
Oh.
that Alok couldn't see it before, but he sees it now.
All right, so you see
Oh shit.
a
Okay.
long-haired elven man, fine features. I don't know if he has an expression on his face in this form. It's literally invisible to me. I know where it is, I assume, and can command
Yeah.
it, but like it's straight up invisible for me.
Yeah. This unseen servant, which is now being seen for perhaps the first time, you can see him kind of like just like nod to himself, and Alok, make an insight check.
Yeah, I'm good at that. Yeah, really good. Okay. Shit.
Yo, Alok on the
19.
ball.
High roller today.
Ball
Yeah, it's good.
Ghost boy, Ghostbuster.
He looks really familiar. Like really familiar. Like you swear you've seen that face before somewhere.
Do you see him?
Really? Yeah, I see him. I feel like I've seen him before.
Can you tell me if he looks happy or not?
Does he look happy?
He looks kind of like in a state of like it is what it is, you know. He's mostly looking at Gallet. He looks a little worried for Gallet specifically.
He looks maybe worried and a little indifferent. I don't know. He's just
All right.
not really anything.
All right. I stopped the spell.
Who is that? What was that?
That's my former first mate. I take off the ring. It's many. It seems like a few objects give things and take things. I was given a few wishes. None of them turned out
I'm sorry.
I'll find a way out. I got this. But so just if anything, I just would tell you, and I like cover the ring. Don't trust these items. If you hear something from that necklace, don't trust it.
Yeah, I was already kind of doing that. I'll make sure to do so.
They're great items.
Yeah, you're really cool.
So powerful. Okay, well, I guess that's. Is he going somewhere? Do you know, Alok? Can you ask him? Is he forever a ghost or does he go to heaven?
Yeah, Andros, is he still there? Not
Patrice?
Andros, sorry.
Yeah.
Patrice.
Andros died too.
No.
He's dead too.
It's everyone that drank the wine.
You turn. It's like Simon
The
in
whole
the
crew's
back with
gone.
Simon has a gun. It's like I'm
They
gonna be the
don't-
most
they
important
don't-
now.
They never invited me. They
Pumped
said I
up
was
pics.
crazy.
You kind of like call out to Patrice, and Patrice kind of wisps back momentarily. You feel a hand on your shoulder. Goes, yeah, kid.
Where do you go now? What happens now?
I mean, somewhere else. You know, the next thing, whatever that is. I think that I don't know what it is about you, but it seems like I'm bound to you in one way or another.
I'm sorry.
But I'm not like always here, doing my own thing. And when you need me, you can call me, and I'll be here for a bit. When I'm not, I'll be somewhere else for a bit. Whether that's Arborea or one of the 9 hells, I guess we'll find out.
Nope, I hope that's not the case. Well, I'm sorry you're stuck with me. It's kind of good though. You can tell me some cool, recipes, I guess. Because I don't know anything about cooking.
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn. Honestly, I would have just full moved on, but I feel like my unfinished business is kind of making sure the crew gets taken care of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of screwed you over, huh?
Nah, like I said, when it was happening, it felt right.
I hope I hope it was right.
Me too. You whisk back into nothingness. The 5 of you are still in this warehouse with all these barrels of like meat and ale. The commotion has died down pretty much. In the other room, damage will need to be repaired. The damage will be repaired for sure, which will be a bit of gold cost, but hopefully it'll be fine.
Don't worry, we just got we got 41 gold. How much do I subtract from that?
In total, the damages your crew have caused would be exactly 40 gold. So
gold!
you get that one.
And I give that 1 gold to Alok. Cheer up, champ.
Oh, thank you. I don't feel like I deserve this. But...
You're gonna have some issues later on, I presume. So just enough for a good ale.
I don't know. I think Ruby seemed to want it more. Ruby, do you want it? I don't use gold for much.
It's just I want to be the one to take gold from the guy who talks to ghosts. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna curse you. I don't think I'll curse you. Oh.
For our safety, how about we all we pay for the damages and we get a good drink.
Yeah.
And after that, we go to the laboratory because once again, I'm letting you guys know tomorrow's the execution.
Okay.
So we can't really be resting for that long. So enough for like a small drink, maybe a short rest, and then we gotta go.
Before we dip out of the
Yeah.
warehouse,
Yeah.
I pull Alok aside for, I don't know, just a minute or two, probably. But we don't have to role play that. We can talk in chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do that after the session.
We also have to.
And
We
I,
have to let the crew know. Should we just be honest with the crew?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What? Okay, so first
All
off,
right.
Patrice is done. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's cool with it, but also at the same time, they're taking our word for the he's cool with it part. So we're just gonna have to let him know. All right, so a cursed object stole him.
Is this you planning what you're gonna say, or are you saying this to them right now?
Planning.
Okay,
This sort of a storm session. Patrice was pretty important. Everyone seemed to just like the guy. He's gone for good, as we know. Maybe he can come back. But he's pretty happy being a ghost. So do we just tell them, all right, well, a cursed object's just straight up stole his life?
I don't know about you, but I feel like that might be the last questions if we do that. Should we leave it and say maybe the Red Wraith?
No, because that doesn't bring
Oh.
any. Well, you know what? Let's blame it on the Red Wraith.
Because
You
I
know
mean,
what?
he's already caused us a
Come
lot
on,
of harm,
come on.
right? Like,
From upstairs, they hear through the hole upstairs. Darn you, Red Wraith!
I mean, I don't really like lying, but I just don't want
No, I
too
was
many
going
questions.
downstairs about to explain it all. All right, everyone. He's gone. The Red Wraith took him.
Andros, God bastard! Slams his axe into the ground, and you see Dale go, "Oh God, that's more damage."
I
There's the
don't
one
know how
gold.
to explain it spiritually, but he defended all of you in a way that only ghost people can see when we were being attacked. Everyone was knocked out, but not him. He wasn't. He was down there in the decks, making sure none of you were stolen away so that you would be part of his army. He needs a cook, and he took the best one.
You see Suzanne for the first time takes her dagger, stabs it into a table to another face palm from Dell in the corner,
He
and she
will
says,
pay.
"Yeah." She says, "You know what, Captain? For the first time, I agree with some shit you just said." She wrenches the dagger out, flips it so that's pointing out, and she says, "We're gonna get revenge."
We are.
She looks at everybody else, kind of the people who were in her faction, and they all nod. And she says, "For Patrice." You hear, "For Patrice!" Kind of in a chorus.
All right, but as a sorry for these individuals that we've caused so much fuss for, I'll pay for damages. And everyone, have a good night because let's give this night to Patrice and have a wake for him. This is his wake. Just get drunk. I'm basically ordering you all to get drunk.
Aye, aye. They will get drunk at your command.
Okay.
Can I also mention, as first mate, I just want to let you know, if you have to talk about your feelings, if you need to talk about them,
The therapist.
Captain's
see...
doors.
If you have any kind of bad feelings and you just can't get them out, it's probably best to go to your first mate. You know how it is. I'm warning you, Ruby.
Sure.
I'm warning you, Ruby. There's gonna be some drunk ones that go to you immediately.
Oh yeah,
That's
Ruby.
fine.
Ruby, you were minding your own business after saying that, and immediately they know some dark. It's like the one dark elf in the entire ship who kind of sticks to the shadows. He kind of sidles up next to you, and he's drunk out of his mind, and he's like, I really just I've been spending so much time on the ship, and I got so attached, I got very
Right.
attached to Patrice.
Right.
You know, did you want to know something about
What?
something about Patrice?
No, Dad.
Listen.
Uh,
One time, he told me a secret, okay? And he said he has like a special stash of like secret spices. Ooh, secret spices. And whenever the crew
Wow.
seems like they need like a pick me up, he would put the spice into, into all of our meals. And we all feel better. And that's like from his private stash. That's from his private stash. And and and
Mm.
if anyone's hearing that, yeah, I feel like somebody made a perception check on
He showed me.
Patrice,
He literally showed me.
sprinkling some. He showed you for sure. I think I'm with you one on one. I think maybe Buru had a perception check on Patrice, like taking like a little baggie out.
Yeah, it was about the
Um,
beans.
yeah. And you see this dragon is. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucked up. I'm Nico. You can call me Nico. It's short for something. Don't bother. Nico Lightfoot. My feet aren't light. They're actually a very dark gray. So I don't know why. I mean, it's like you know what I mean. I'm not even particularly fast, so it's weird that they call me that. Elven last names are weird. Anyway, um, he he claps you on the shoulder. He like pulls you uncomfortably close. He's just like, I just want to tell you. You're my best fucking friend on the ship. I just feel like we had eye contact one time, like on your first day, and I just thought,
Probably
if
going like
someone's gonna
this.
be right, okay, so if anyone is gonna be first in it, I just thought like, if Valera
I'll
was like in
take
a
him by
ship
the
accident,
shoulders and gently steer him to a different table.
and then he keeps talking as if Ruby is still in front of him, and you just hear him go,
I will point him threateningly at Suzanne.
and just like religion is just such an important thing. I love that you're a cleric, religion is so. And he comes face to face with Suzanne. And he's like, "Oh yeah, religion's important. Want to meet God?" And then he like clams
Nice.
up, and then Suzanne kind of she's very small, but like hooks him around the waist and kind of drags him to a corner to be quiet. Um,
The notebook.
cool. You
Ru-
all, yeah.
I was just gonna say Ruby owes a debt to Suma now. Just so you know.
There's
Need
one thing I
something?
want to do.
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah. What do you want to do, Aelon?
I'll take the extra gold piece I got, and I'll go over to the half siren person, and without like looking her in the eyes or even saying anything, I'll just hand it over. Hope she takes it.
She takes it and she smiles at you and nods, and you don't feel any strange effects on you. Um, seems like a normal person who doesn't or cannot speak and chooses to communicate in sign language and like other forms of body language mostly.
I'm not even saying for like any recognition. I just wanted to give it and go.
Oh,
It's my
cool.
form of
Okay.
reparations for killing the one she loves.
You don't see, but she just like slides the gold coin over to her. Kind of like looks back at you like, is this for something? But but you
Just
don't,
walk away.
you don't look back, so you miss all of it. Because okay, and kind of slips it into your like apron pocket. Cool. I will say that for a time, you all like get drinks at the tavern. Lots of like moving stories about Patrice are told. Everyone gets fucked up to a certain extent, unless you don't want to get fucked up. That's also cool. Um, is everybody gonna go back to the ship, or are you all gonna stay in the tavern, or what's the plan? Oh, you're gonna okay, so you're gonna not rest at all.
No, there's an execution.
I don't know. Shouldn't we?
Well, okay,
What if?
if we rest, we're basically saying, all right, executioners, we're not really, if we're going to, any kind of way, save this person in a good way, I feel like we should pull an all-nighter.
Well, the thing is, we have to kill this, or not kill, but the problem is the Rotwood person, right?
Yes. And if we're trying to do anything on a timeline, which would be straight up tomorrow, we should use the time we have. I gave us like an hour for a wake for Patrice because he was crew. But still,
Well,
we are on a tight schedule.
what
The
is?
only
What,
thing is that go ahead.
no, go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say if exploring a laboratory is one thing if we don't get caught, but if we do and anything happens to Rotwood or the execution that would get us kicked off the island without a fixed boat yet, you know, that might be troublesome in some way.
Well, yeah, no, it's definitely. Are we? The question basically is, what are we trying to do? If we're just trying to straight up get our boat fixed and leave, we can do that. We already got the money. All we need to do is wait. But if we're trying to do anything to save the person that's seemingly might have been wrongfully put in her position and she's just gonna straight up die, I want to give an attempt. I'm gonna give.
Perhaps we
help her.
could delay the execution. Perhaps there's enough evidence to hold Rotwood on some kind of trial that would delay her execution until he was proven guilty.
I think that would be, if we were trying for that route, it would, in my opinion, be better if we went for the laboratory first to get more stuff, because right now it's not exactly damning, and he's also the highest political figure on this boat, and we're newbies, and our crew already trashed it in. So I feel
Well-
like if we're trying to pull that move, we need more than we got.
Oh, I don't disagree. I just wanted to point out, if we have to make a run for our lives, we should.
If we run, we run. That's it.
Yeah.
What is our goal if we try to save her? How do we do that?
Well, I feel like we'd find more evidence at the laboratory, maybe see why her mind was wiped, and see what he was trying to accomplish from using her, since it seems like he was using her, and her
But
capabilities were fire-based, very weak to fire everything on this island, and they don't want Aurelius on here because he can portend disasters, and he feels like one is coming up. Now, call me crazy, everything lining up here gives some major bad vibes. And anyone against the bad vibe idea? I'm getting some.
You guys ever heard of a false flag attack, where you throw up the wrong colors and you do an attack and you blame the person whose colors you used for that attack? What if he's trying to blame all squishies for or at least create a public displeasure of non-warforgers because of their aptitude with fire?
That's definitely possible,
Yeah.
and it is also possible that someone is framing Rotwood.
Technically possible.
Maybe.
But
Well,
if they went through that much, I think we're out of our depths if they're going this far.
I think the
This is
problem
true.
with that is they've been using his or Rotwood's weapons and or tools and stuff.
His orb
The
thingy.
The orbs are his thing?
Are they? I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, I don't think we know that for sure,
I guess
but
we
we could
don't.
infer it because I assume you need some sort of laboratory to create
Mhm.
something like this.
Oh,
Plus
the
the
enchantment is
message
common,
with it.
not the gas. Okay.
Yeah, the enchantment was a common enchantment to keep the gas in a certain state, such that when something happened to them, they would still be in that state. You're not really sure what that entails yet, but I would say that you can probably conclude from what you know that the message was in the orb that came in the mail, and the message also contained the gas. It was like, open this, and also now you have gas in your face, kind of a thing. So which was addressed from Rotwood, but that isn't necessarily him, as you stated he could be being framed.
Yeah. All I'm saying is it would be a shame if Lagan became sort of a non-harbor for all non-warforged. Someone's going to be executed potentially, and it's not their fault. And also someone died today on a crew, so I'm feeling a bit more. I feel like I need to help a bit more. Feels a little bit hurtful, and I'm a bit mad. So I want to find this laboratory, investigate it, and do some major political intrigue.
That's
Cool.
a plan.
Sounds like a plan.
Is everyone?
Should we?
You are still my. We're still all a team. I am technically your captain, but also we're all B5, so it's a weird kind of dynamic. Is everyone cool with this? Is anyone like, but I need to sleep?
To prepare for this, I feel like, okay, one, should we take a short rest, if not like a long rest, if we need? We have?
We had
Yeah,
Okay.
we decided that we
Since
took
the
a long.
battle we did.
Yeah, kind of like in the interim after the battle.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Does that
I
mean
will
I get to
say-
prepare, like, I don't...
I believe that's on a long rest, right? You get to re-prepare spells on a long rest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you would still have the same
Just-
spells for prepare, but your spell slots, I think you get some of them back. As a cleric, you get some back, I think. Or
No.
maybe not.
It's me, I get
Yeah,
some
wizards
back.
get that with arcane
No,
recovery.
wizards and warlocks get arcane recovery.
Yeah, I've done it.
How many? Did you burn any spell slots, Ruby?
She had a fight.
Right, but
Yeah.
She did a thunder wave, I think.
Yeah, I did.
One
I
thunder wave?
definitely did a thunder wave, and then I did sacred flame.
Guiding.
Sacred
Well, that's a
flame is
cantrip,
cantrip,
that's a
so
cantrip.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
So it'd just be the thunder wave, probably.
So you're
Did you guiding
down.
bolt?
No, I think it was just thunder wave.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, then let's. And also, it's just the perfect time. It's night. This is when you go to laboratories that you don't want to be seen in. It's
Okay.
night.
Yeah, I do have two things to bring up. Sorry. One, like, I'm totally down to do this, but one, if we go to this laboratory and Rotwood is there, and we need a fight, do we kill him?
Oh
Or
yeah, we kill
it-
him. Just straight up.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
like,
second thing,
if we can knock him out, obviously. But if it's a life or death situation, you crack that neck, man. Like you did in the ship.
you knocked out a Warforged? We'll find out.
Okay.
No.
Find out.
And then
So there's pistons in him. So if you just stop one of the pistons,
just hit the power off switch, and
yeah,
that
power
should
off.
work.
Yeah.
And
this
the
is very
second thing
convenient.
is I don't know how deep this goes. I don't know if it's just Rotwood or if there's a lot of other
It
Mark
might
ones that
also be
are in
Wave
on this.
Rock. Wave Rock might also be a part of this. But if
Yeah.
we can get Rotwood, it sounds like from what we've been discovering that he's sort of the big guy behind the operations. It may not root out all the evil, but it would definitely stop whatever mayhem is going to happen very soon.
If we get this evidence, if it is there by chance, who do we show it to? Where do we go from there?
Well, there's others in the council, and from what it
And they
sounds
could
like,
be on his side.
well, yeah. Well, also from what it sounds like, Tinkerton has pointed out that although they are like the ones that hate organics, it sounds like not everyone just automatically hates organics. So there's other people that would be willing to listen.
I mean, if we talked about it at the execution, where most people are likely to be,
Also, just
can't really hide the evidence there.
Also, just another thing, just pointing this out there. I'm now getting the bad vibe that he's gonna blame organics using fire at the execution because they know she has flame abilities. She would, like people could believe, oh no, I'm about to be executed. I'll do everything to hurt someone. So just blame a lot of fire on her and then politically just say, hey, you see what happened? Let's just not have them on the ship anymore. It might also give us some knowledge at there if it might be possible that not everyone is present, and the ones that aren't present might be copacetic to what his motivations are, because they wouldn't want to be near the fire. So I'm just putting all that out. I'm just saying we should totally go through with this.
I think we're just going to fuck around and find out.
Oh yeah.
All right.
No plan of this is definite. It's just sort of rolling forward.
With those very wise words, we just have to fuck around and find out. I think we're gonna conclude tonight's session. It is midnight, and I know some of you are like 3 hours ahead, if not more. Thank you all for coming to the session. Sorry that we had to start late.
Yeah, I know. This
Oh,
was fun.
Alright.
We got
Good.
Ghost Boy over here did some great things.
Yeah.
And Boo
Mhm.
got his things. And Ruby
Oh,
got
yeah,
to
we have
be
to
the
talk about that.
therapist we knew about.
It's so good.
And then the bad guy, it was just everything worked out.
I could use a therapist, so
Yeah.
I'm counting on you, Ruby.
Honestly, I
I
love that
am.
dynamic.
Yeah, there's probably some trauma. You're gonna. Yeah.
Yes, you guys have feelings or whatever.
Yeah, crazy.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
Can't relate.
Some adventurers have tragic backstories, and I just don't know why.
Jason, do you want to stay in the voice chat after?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, all right. Have a good
Alright,
night,
good night, y'all.
everybody. Thank
GG's.
you.
Good
Have a
night.
good one.
Yeah.
See you guys. Bye. Oh, yo, just so you know, we have the same headset, I think, the
Yeah.
HyperX. Yeah, I noticed that a while ago.
You better not be scheming, alright? I'm the captain watches.
I know
We're not scheming.
you're literally not watching.
I know,